Welcome everybody, Rocket City. I've got a handful of racers I wanted to take a moment and chat with real fast before we get tonight's show underway. Last night's racing here in this half mile track was absolutely spectacular, but there was a couple of standouts and some excellent battles going on all night long. The first racer I'd like to speak with is the number 75 of Terrence Suntero, who was burning it down here last night. Oh my goodness.
Thank you very much. Oh, oh.
We're having a little technical difficulty down here. This doesn't want to quite reach. So let's take a little step forward. Oh, maybe it wants to move here. Here, maybe this is the sweet spot. So you had an excellent night here last night. It was on rails. Clearly, this half mile is just speaking to you.
Yeah, we're pretty like from where I'm from. We run blue grooves a lot more often than Cushing, so it definitely feels a lot more like home. We're pretty far away. We're from California, so it feels a little bit like home. Just some blue grooves, so kind of hopefully we can do what we did yesterday today.
Well, excellent. It was a great night of racing. And for our fans that are watching on the live feed, you had a lot of family members peeping in, and they were really excited to see you doing so well. So congratulations to them as well. If you want to give them a little hello.
Yeah, what's going on, Mom? Yeah, I just want to thank my mom, my dad, and then a few of my sponsors, E&M, Law Tigers, HVAC Control Store. There's a bunch of them.
I just thought it was really sweet that your mom was so pumped about it. She's clearly your number one fan. So congratulations. Have a great night tonight and awesome racing. Thank you so much. I also want to take a second and talk to another racer who was a regular with the Xtreem flat track race program based out of the Texas and Oklahoma area. This is no stranger to their program, Mr. Tyler Sargent. Come on over from the 503 machine, right? Well, how was your night here last night? I know half mile is very, very different from the rest of the program this past week, especially. Testing, testing. It works for me.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, last night was fun. I really liked the track. We have a couple half miles in Texas, or a half mile in Texas that we frequent, so I'm no stranger to the speed. I really enjoy going fast. So this is fun for me. I like the groove a little bit more than the dry stuff we're used to in Texas. So we're out here having fun. I had a few difficulties this week, but we're trying to get around them and show up tonight.
Well, awesome. Well, it certainly looked like you had a great time, and I loved that you are one of the locals for this race program. It came all the way up here to check out Sturgis. How's the rest of your week been? How was your Sturgis?
Sturgis has been good. We always have fun up here. I was up here last year. It was my first year. We came up for a few races. So this year's been a lot of fun, a lot more races. Like I said, we battled with a few things on the bike, but we're getting there. And Sturgis overall is always a good time. Thank you, South Dakota. This is a great place to be. So we enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and have a great night, Tyler. I also want to talk to a pair of racers that were just duking it out last night, back and forth, cat and mouse, super exciting racing. Come on over here, Corbin Erickson on the 18 machine and Dane Barbie on the 81. Congratulations on a very exciting race program last night. You guys, how's your week up here? You guys having fun battling each other?
Yeah. 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 Testing.
For some reason, it just doesn't want to work for you guys. I don't know. You don't have the magic touch, I guess. But I just wanted to thank you very much again. This is going to be Dane Barbie, Corbin Erickson on the 18 and 81 machine. And you also had some fans watching the live stream last night, checking in. They were really excited to see the back and forth going on and put up a couple of comments as well, talking about that you two boys raced together a lot back in your hometown. And because of being that comfortable with each other, you're comfortable racing and really close and doing that tight battling. So congratulations on an excellent week. Who wants to win it more tonight? Put your hand there. It was a trick question. I know you both want to win. Have a great race tonight. I'll see you guys out there. Have fun. And last but not least, Mr. Jesse Janish, our rock star, our future flagman for the series. He did an excellent job flagging Rob Pearson yesterday. That was wonderful. So I know that you've been having a really excellent week out here. I know were doing really well in the points, and then just now in practice, one of your tight competitors had a little bit of an oopsie daisy. Dawson Schieffer looked like he had a little bit of bike trouble. What now is your strategy for tonight?
Unfortunately, Dawson went down there in practice. He's a little banged up, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make the races tonight. But as far as I'm concerned, that's crappy. And I'm going to go out there and try and do my best, see if I can do a little better than last night. I was struggling a little bit with bike setup and just with the track. So we're out here and we're going to do our best.
Any changes that you're thinking about making tonight as far as gearing or anything like that?
I made a little gearing change between mains last night, and it seemed to work well. So I'm going to run with that tonight and just try to ride a little better. It's more on me than it is the bike.
So, well, you're looking great out here this entire week. Thanks again. Thanks for taking a second to talk to us. Jesse Janish, one of our pros here tonight, always does an incredible job out here, putting on a show for you race fans, whether you are here in the stands or also watching on the live stream. Looking forward to another incredible night of racing. Again, this is our final race of the entire week up here in the beautiful Black Hills. Thank you so much for coming on out to this half-mile incredible race, this Ronnie Stratton Memorial Sturgis Series. 7 races in 9 days. Woo! It's been a doozy, and tonight is going to be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on out. Thank you to all of our incredible sponsors, because this would not be possible without them. We've got a handful of folks that have been here all weekend long, hooking up our racers with these excellent Shinko tires. Thank you to Adam, Ryan, and Jason from Shinko, LS2 Helmets, Moto Gear, Custom Leathers, Leroy Henderson, who is also racing tonight from TNL Synthetics and Amsoil, and of course, our friends over at Light Shoe. Those are all of our awesome partners for this incredible week of racing out here, so thank you so much to them. Now, back up to the box, I would like to invite everybody to please rise for our invocation and our national anthem. Our invocation will be from Jason Baffrey up in the box.
Thank you, Jackie. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this week. We thank you for all of these racers and their safety. Father, we just ask that you watch over our racers here tonight, keep everyone safe, and also watch over these great fans in the Rapid City area as they head home this evening. We thank you, Lord, that we live in a country where we are able to celebrate our freedom and our love for motorcycle racing, and that we are here in the state of South Dakota having a great time doing racing and enjoying ourselves. Father, we just ask that you put your blessings all in this event, and it is in your Son's name that we pray. Amen. Please stay standing for our national anthem. Gentlemen, remove your headwear.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Black Hills Speedway for the Rapid City Half Mile, the final night of 7 nights of racing here with the Xtreem Flat Track Series. We've got a little treat for you before we get into our main events this evening. As you look down at the starting line, that is the number 58 wide. It is a 1941 Indian motorcycle. Sitting astride it is the R&J Indian motorcycle rider, pro racer Rob Bugs Pearson. He's going to take several laps here on this 1941 brakeless suicide shifter Indian motorcycle. If you look right in front of the starting line, you see our special guest flagman for these few laps. It is Jesse Janish. Rob Bugs Pearson making his way down the backstretch on this 1941 Indian. He enters into turn 3. Remember, no brakes on this motorcycle. This is the way they raced him back in the early days of flat track racing in the 40s and the 50s. Jesse Janish throws the white flag. One more lap for Bugs. As he runs high on the groove through turns 1 and 2. Keep your eyes on Bugs Pearson as he comes out of turn number 4 down the front stretch. And watch that flag, man. Dual flags from Jesse Janish. Put your hands together for Bugs Pearson taking laps on that 1941 Indian. The bike is owned by Jim Otley, who you'll see in many of our races tonight. Jim brought this motorcycle as well as a 1940 model Indian out here this week. He had hopes that we would have enough bikes to run a full brakeless category, but with 2 bikes and 1 rider, we weren't able to put that together. Again, special thanks to our special guest flagman. I think there's a future there for Jesse Janish when he decides to hang up the hot shoe. We are so glad that you have joined us here this evening. It is a beautiful night in South Dakota. It has been an incredible week as we have completed 6 events this week, now entering our 7th. We had 3 races at the Jackline Gypsies short track over in Sturgis. We raced Friday night, Saturday night, and Monday night over there. On Tuesday and Thursday, we took to the hills for the Buffalo Chip Super TT and really mixed things up a little bit with a half-mile Super TT course, which incorporated a few jumps, a couple of right turns, and a giant uphill section where riders were running about 70 miles an hour up the hill. They crested it, caught a little air, and then dove into a U-turn to head back down the hill. And it was some exciting racing over there and very challenging for the riders, but they all had a blast on that course. Of course, last night we were right here, and tonight we will finish out the Ronnie Stratton Memorial Sturgis Rally Championship Series and crown our champions for the week. Riders have been earning points all week long. Tonight, we'll see who will take home the money and the hardware. In our Open Pro category, there is a $2,500 bonus on the line. Currently, Jesse Janish is in the lead of the points by, I believe, 12 points over Dawson Schieffer. As you heard from Jackie and Jesse, Dawson took a little tumble in turn 1 in practice, and we'll just have to wait and see what his condition is and if he'll be back out this evening or not. We are also going to crown a high points earner in our Open Amateur category. That racer will take home a brand new set of custom Moto Gear leathers, a brand new LS2 helmet, a new hot shoe from Light Shoe, based right here in Sturgis, South Dakota. I believe there's also some synthetics from T&L Synthetics, AMSoil products. maybe a set of Shinko tires, and a $500 gas card. And if you're an amateur rider, that is a pretty good haul. You get set up with complete set of new gear and get a little gas money, maybe some new tires and some oil to put in your bike.
I think it's pretty much the ideal setup for any of these folks heading into the 2020 season, which, even though it's August, it should not be the beginning of the 2020 season because of Corona, of course. A lot of these races have been canceled and postponed and delayed all across the country. So this kind of is the beginning of the season for a lot of these folks. Even the professional series, AFT only have hosted one race so far a couple of weeks back. So that kind of is the perfect starter pack for folks that are looking to go racing. Tires, gas money, leathers. I mean, it's everything. It's the whole kit and caboodle. And don't forget these excellent, beautiful trophies made by the folks at Light Show, over at Light Shoe, I should say. Light Shoe welded together these awesome trophies. You can see them over in the Shinko booth over there. They're absolutely beautiful. So they're taking home cool stuff. They're taking home beautiful trophies, taking home excellent memories of racing all week long and grinding it out here. 7 races in 9 days.
Yeah, it's been a battle, and even Jesse Janish was saying this is the most he's raced in 1 week since he was an amateur way back when at the Amateur Nationals in Springfield. So it's been a tough week for everybody. I think everybody's had a really good time, and there's been a lot of great racing. Hopefully some of you have been able to be with us at all of the events to see the battles. And as you were talking about, Jackie, we had Corbin Erickson and Dane Barbie down there, and unfortunately with some mic problems, but those two have been battling all week long, especially over at the short track, and then here last night, the 18 and the 81, been trading spots throughout the races. It's been really fun to watch. Now we see our Open Pro competitors coming to the racetrack. This will be heat number 1 for Open Pro racers. They'll come out and take a sighting lap. We come to line up here on the starting line for our first race of the evening here at Black Hills Speedway. All right, giving all of our riders here in Open Pro a couple of sliding laps. Yellow flag coming out now, and riders will approach the starting line to line up for Open Pro Heat Race number 1. Check, check. Can you hear me now? Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check, check. 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Testing the stream feed. Testing the stream feed. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Should be working.
Someone just said that sounds great, so maybe it's just me.
Okay, here we go. All right, we're underway. Open Pro Heat Race number 1. This one featuring Dylan Fox on the number 69, Sean Nesshofer on the 98, James Rispoli, the only twin in the field, on the number 43, then David Durrell on the 58, Terrence Santero on the 75F, and Rob Bugs Pearson on the 25. It is the 75F of Terrence Santero, that California Kawasaki, in the lead, stretching it out. Here comes Rispoli on the twin, down the back stretch. That Harley Davidson flexing its muscles.
mention that only 10 out here right now is going to be James Slowly on that XG750. Definitely an advantage here on the much larger half-mile track. There is no replacement for displacement, as they say. They absolutely proved it last night out here.
But you think about it, you've got a bunch of single-cylinder motorcycles and that one V-twin, and there's a single-cylinder bike in the lead. And theoretically, you wouldn't think that it would even be possible that they'd be competitive, but they certainly are. And this Kawasaki of Terrence Santero is wicked fast.
No, I definitely want to take a moment to talk to him about ceremonies because he just did such an outstanding job last night, just riding on rails, super, super fast. I'm definitely not familiar with him, as he mentioned. He is from California, so he's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. So it was a really fun surprise to see how well he did out here.
Well, I think he got a lot of people's attention last night. Certainly the other pro riders in this class.
Yeah, Taryn is definitely not going to be a secret for anybody very much longer. So we're currently in our very first race. This is an open pro class. And Terrence Santero is in the lead. White flag is out. This is going to be the final lap for Terrence Santero in 1, James Rispoli in 2. And the 58 machine of Davey Durrell is in 3rd.
Butch Pearson in 4th on the number 27.
And Sean Nesshofer right behind him.
Yeah. What a race for Terrence Santero. That Kawasaki looking very strong tonight, taking the measure of the V-twin Harley Davidson here in heat race number 1 for our Open Pro competitors. Open Pro heat number 2 rolling to the starting line now. We'll have the number 15 of Justin Anselmi, the 21M of Jacob Cascio. Brian Layfelt will be on the 67W. Jesse Janish on the number 96. Scheduled to be on the line is the number of 33 of Dawson Schiefer. I don't think I saw him pull up there. We'll have the number 43 of Cody Kopp and the 17G of Joe Brittenham.
So Joe Brittenham, also one of those names, one of those families that races here all the time.
Wow.
Chad is super clean out front already. And unfortunately, Dawson Schiefer earlier in practice, his engine gave out. It wasn't actually a crash caused by him. He literally blew an engine up and ended up over in the corner. So he did get a little banged up. He's okay, though. He still is here. I don't believe he's going to be continue racing this evening. I'm not sure. 43 machine is right on his heels of Cody Kopp. No big surprise. Kopp also one of those iconic racing families, and Cody is just incredibly fast. Had a great night here last night as well. His dad is on hand doing a little bit of coaching and tuning and all the good stuff that race families do out here.
Yeah, it's great to see Joe and Cody Kopp here. Of course, Joe Kopp, your 2000 Grand National champion, and Cody, your most recent 2020 Nikki Hayden AMA Horizon Award winner after the AMA Amateur Nationals in Springfield a few weeks ago. Joe actually raced at the Buffalo Chip Super TT on Thursday and did very well. But last night tonight, he's turning the wrenches on this KTM for his son. And you'll want to keep up with Cody Kopp because he is going to be turning pro very soon, and he will be a force to be reckoned with. Right now, though, running second to our current Ronnie Stratton Memorial Sturgis Rally Championship Series points leader, Jesse Janish, on that number 96. And Janish has been so good this week. He had a little bit of trouble last night, just the bike wasn't working quite like he wanted it to. He wasn't working quite like he would have wanted himself to. He made a gearing change in this Husqvarna for tonight. I believe he ended up 7th place last night in the Open Pro main. Not where he wanted to be because he has taken multiple wins this week. In fact, he had 4 Open Pro main event wins coming into last night.
But a little further down pack, there's a really excellent battle going on. It looks like between Joe Brittingham and Jacob Cassio. They've been running pretty tight. It looks like they've spread out a little bit by now. The white flag is out. This is going to be the last lap. Your leader, Jesse Janish, is in 1. And Cody Kopp on the 43 machine is in 2.
Checker flag for Jesse Janish, the number 96, taking another heat race win. Cody Kopp right behind him on the 43.
All right, and while that Open Pro class heads back to the paddock, our race number two, second class is going to be the 70s and 80s classic singles. You got Mark Erickson on the 410 bike, Rick Bargholtz, also known as Ridiculous Racing, on the number 5. Leroy Henderson, one of our sponsors for tonight, is going to be out there on the number 57 machine. Leroy Henderson also having a little bit of bike trouble last night halfway through the program. We weren't sure if there was something went wrong. We weren't sure if it was mechanical or not, but it was. I talked to him today, and he's really excited about coming on back out to this track, and he had a great time. This is his first half mile.
Yeah, Leroy, a regular over at the Jack Pine Gypsy short track, and as you mentioned, Jackie, first time he's ever been on the half mile, and from my own experience, the first time you set out on a half mile track on one of these vintage 500cc motorcycles, it can be a little bit intimidating.
I'm sure that's a daunting task, but he did get the bike back together, and it already seems to be running a little bit better than last night. He was definitely way back there last night. But the machine in front right now, number 1, is going to be Rick Bargholtz, followed by Mark Erickson on the 410, and the 57 of Leroy Henderson in 3rd.
Yeah, Rick came over from Missoula, Montana to be here with us on the half mile last night and tomorrow night, or tonight, whatever day it is. What day is this? I don't even know.
I don't blame you. I'm sure. Haven't you been here like 3 months? Don't you live here now?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, thankfully the Kinslers will put me up and feed me.
They do have room in the blue bus, so
Right.
you've got a place to stay. You're good. You're golden. Yeah, I stopped by the DMV earlier today myself. I got a new driver's license.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I live here now, so
Excellent. Well, the weather is nice this time of year, so it's a good place to be in the country.
it is beautiful, and it was spectacular riding. But now everyone's excited to go home. But that being said, actually, I talked to the racers. Just took the temperature a little bit earlier tonight to see, are you just dying to go home or what? Are you
took
exhausted?
their temperature? Anybody have COVID?
Not literally, but I should have. But every single one of them was like, I'm exhausted, but we've had a blast, and I want 2 more weeks of this. I don't even want to go home. I don't want to go back to work. I just want to stay here and race. So,
Yeah, I heard some people say that too, and I'm like, have you lost your mind?
I thought that was excellent. I thought that spoke volumes. And white flag is out for Rick Bargholtz. Ridiculous Racing from start to finish, smooth sailing. He's on his last lap, and again, it still is going to be Mark Erickson on the 410 bike in 2, and Leroy Henderson in 3rd. And again, Leroy just really emphasized how much fun he's having. It wasn't even a really heavy competitive vibe.
Yeah.
It just was how much fun he's having out here tonight on this half mile, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, he's been with us at every single race. Had a great time over at the short track with Jack Pine Gypsies. He went through the Bugs Pearson Throttle Therapy School on Wednesday, picked up a few pointers from Bugs and Jesse Janish and Dawson Schieffer. And Leroy, you'll hear us talk about some of our vintage bikes with vintage riders or more seasoned riders, and Leroy is one of those. And to see him, the grin on his face and the amount of fun that he's having out here, and we'll talk throughout the night. I mean, we have racers of all ages. I've seen as young as 3 years old over on the short track, and you'll see some of the kids coming out here in just a little bit. We have a few riders that are in their 70s generation and still out here twisting the throttle and having a blast. And speaking of some of the youngsters, we'd like to bring some of our teen riders out now as we go into our 250 amateur category, and we have 3 great up-and-coming racers right here.
On the 58 machine, Dylan Daredevil Durrell from the Durrell Racing families out there on that number 58 machine. And number 71, Michael Mowry, who's been a 2-time 2019 champion for Xtreem Flat Track Series. Candace Herron on the 52. And away they go.
Caden's on that number 252 bike, the only framer in the field. It is powered by a 250cc Honda engine, but that is a special built frame that she's on, and that's why it will sound a little different. She's got that downpipe on there.
So Daredevil Durrell got out clean, but unfortunately got a little bit outpowered and is in 3rd. But still putting up a fight out there, and I know those bikes are wide open. This is the 250 AM class.
Michael Mowry on the 71 with the lead, and he is having a great week out here. He's been racing the 250 amateur and the open amateur categories, picked up a couple of the 250 amateur main event wins. His dad is also racing, and his mom, thankfully, has been helping the Xtreem Flat Track crew. She's down there on the starting line helping keep score and cheering Michael along.
Absolutely. She's got a ringside seat to watch Michael win this race because it sure looks he's going to pretty handily. He did have a really interesting night last night, though. Halfway through one of his races, his hot shoe came off, and he had to jump off track real fast. Thankfully, everything was okay. The bike was okay, and he was all right, but everybody was a little wondering what happened because he's just such a fast racer. But he got back out here and had a great rest of his night. And he's looking to have the exact same type program here this evening. It is Michael Mowry on the 71 machine in 1, followed by Cadence Herron on the 52. And 3rd place is Dylan Daredevil Durrell on the number 58 bike.
Now, Michael's hot shoe came off, which is actually several riders having some issues over in turn 3 last night. There was either a rock or a divot or something over there that riders were having. They were hitting it with their foot coming into the turn when they put their foot down. The only way that was good is for Gary Kinsler because that meant lots of work today to get hot shoes repaired.
Definitely thankful that the folks from Light Shoe are on hand and have been all week long, helping all these racers out with their hot shoes and really any other kind of welding and repairs. And the checkers goes very smooth sailing to Michael Mowry on the 71 bike, followed by Cadence Herron on the 52 and Dylan Durrell on the 58.
And Michael, he has had 5 main event wins here this week in the 250 amateur category and 1 second. And that race was the Monday night at the short track where Cadence took the win over there. But Michael just having a stellar week here in the 250 amateur class.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned, a multi-championship winner with the Xtreem Flat Track Racing program for 2019. So obviously no slouch. I don't know how longer he's going to be able to call himself an amateur, racking up all these wins out here. Our next class coming on out is going to be the 85cc class. So again, some smaller racers, some kids, some tots out here.
Yeah.
Holding it wide open on these 85cc machines. Oh, right out of the way. The number 77 bike of Rip Regal having a little bit of trouble getting off of the grid, unfortunately. We've also got the number 27 of Camlin Durrell. Nicholas Carnes on the 12 NK, and Sam Brittenham on the 46.
It's been really fun to watch all of the kids race this week. We ran the 50s over on the short track Friday, Saturday, and Monday, and had some, like I mentioned, we had a 3-year-old out there that was kind of out there for his first time. We had a couple of 5-year-olds. And so to see the kids getting involved in this sport at that young age is just really cool. And now we see kids that are just a little bit older, 8, 9, somewhere in that range here on the 85s, maybe some that are a little bit older. But they are having a blast out here. I know a lot of them had a really good time running on that Super TT track. They got to run the full half mile and go up the hill and everything. And it was fun listening to these 85cc bikes just scream around that track.
Well, unfortunately, Rip Regal's still maybe having a little bit of trouble with this bike out there. And it looks like he's probably going to get lapped here in just a moment from the 27 machine of Camlin Durrell. And I believe he's next door to Nicholas Carnes, I think, on the 12 bike. And they're starting to creep up on him. So I think they're going to hit a little bit of lap traffic here in just one moment. Oh, Rip is getting off track. Yeah, something must have happened. Some sort of technical trouble out there.
Hate to see that for Rip Rage Regal, as he had a really good night last night. I got to talk to his dad a little bit last night, and they are actually Bonneville Salt Flats racers. His dad holds multiple records on the salt with motorcycles, and that's one place that. Have you ever been out to Bonneville, Jackie? I've never been able to make it out there.
I have. It is absolutely spectacular. It's going on. Just got done wrapping up here this past week, and a couple of years ago, I had the good fortune of coming to Sturgis and then going directly to Bonneville from there because it's in the same kind of neck of the woods, and it's just such a special place in America, and it's such a special, important place in motorcycling history. Period.
Right.
I strongly encourage anybody to go. It's People say all the time, you go once and you get hooked, and it's absolutely true. It's just super magical and very, very special. So I always have extra spot in my heart for the Land Speed Record folks that go out to Bonneville.
Yeah, strangely enough, I've never been able to make it out there, and hopefully we'll make it. I know several people with cars that take them out there and run, and just haven't had the chance to get out there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move into race number 5 now. This will be our 40-plus category. We have a few classes based on age. This is one of them. As you can tell by the name, it is 40-plus riders. We'll have Camzy Durrell on the number 58. Brian Layfelt will be on the 67W. Billy Smith, the Wild Man, on the number 13. Scott Mowry on the 71, and Pedro Brown on the number 21.
It looks like the 58 bike of Camzy Durrell got off of the line first, but didn't quite get the whole shot. So she's now back down there in second and is getting passed, it looks like, by the 13 bike of Billy Smith. The wild card, I think, made a pass on the outside just now. Yes, so it's going to be the 67W of Brian Layfelt in 1, Billy Smith in second.
Well, he was second. Now he's about to drop to third. He went way high through turns 1 and 2 and had to crank the throttle down just a little bit. And by doing that, that allowed Camzy Durrell to make the pass. But here comes Bill Smith down the front stretch on the outside, going to turn number 1, trying to take the number 2 position back.
A really great battle going on currently between the wild man, the wild card Billy Smith on that 13, and Camzy Durrell on the 58 bike. They just keep cat and mousing each other on that back stretch. They really like to pass a lot in turn 2.
Billy Smith closing up the gap on the 67W of Brian Layfelt. Look at Smith right on the back wheel.
Woo!
Whoa!
A heck of a pass going on.
Yeah.
Very strong riding.
And I don't know if Layfelt had a problem or what happened, but it looked like he just almost stopped and
Yeah.
Bill Smith went around him.
Billy found 10 extra horsepower somewhere down there on the back stretch and just made an absolutely just thunder pass.
Well, Brian looking down at his bike as he crosses the start-finish line, and now he's pulling over off the groove to the inside of the track. And unfortunately, I think there's a problem with the 67W as he's going to bring it into the pit area.
Oh, well, that is very unfortunate. Yep, he is absolutely coming back into pit paddock, which is really a bummer. He was running really, really well. But a very lucky evening, it looks like, for Mr. Billy Smith, the wild card out there. He always races kind of by the skin of his pants, as it were, and it looks like his luck is holding tight.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been wild many a time this week and given me heart palpitations a few times as I've seen that bike sideways more than once.
It looks like white flag is going out right now for Billy Smith on the 13. Camsey Durrell in second on the 58. The number 21 bike of Pedro Brown in third. And then quite a gap going on between 3 and 4. The fourth place machine, the 71 bike of Scott Mowry, is in fourth. And checkers are going to be out for Billy Smith, the number 13 machine, in those iconic and easy to spot Evel Knievel leathers.
Billy, one of our regulars on the Xtreem Flat Track Tour. Saw him earlier this year, our first race of the season in Ada, Oklahoma. And he'll be joining us when we head back to Texas. If you're interested or you live in the southern part of the country, we'll be finishing it out our season in and all around Texas over the next couple of months. We are not just a regional-based series, but do some of the scheduling and all the things going on in the world. It looks like we're going to round out the season with all of our races in Texas. So we will be pretty much from top to bottom of the state.
Just all of middle America is Xtreem Flat Track Race Program. Just the middle chunk for now. Until America domination happens with the Xtreem Flat Track Race Program. Speaking of dominating, this is the 60 and 70 over class, and there are just some real heavy hitters out here. Leroy Henderson on the 57, Rick Reed on the 59Y, Mark Erickson on the 67W machine, and Bud Posson on the 75. So again, this is our 60 and over, 70 and over senior class.
Rick Reed has really been having a great time, a great week. Just a very good competitor, very good racer, long-time racer, and he's just been having an absolute blast. He's picked up a couple of wins this week and really having fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely having a great time out here. Has several beautiful bikes underneath his tent. And of course, those standout bright orange leathers, which I thanked him for wearing and stopped by his tent earlier tonight because it makes him so easy to spot. Although it's really easy to spot him because he's been out front the past 2 nights. So he's really easy to see out there, but very, very fast with a handful of beautiful bikes, a couple of great looking Triumphs underneath his tent. And so it's going to be a really exciting night for him as well. I think he might be bringing out a third bike this evening as well, to mix it up a little bit, to add, to add a little drama to the show. I think he's going to bring out a different bike, and he actually might be on that different bike right now. It looks like he might be on a Honda, and I think he was on Triumphs last night for his races. So, but either way, he still is winning. He still is in the lead, doing a heck of a good job up there. So again, this is going to be your senior extra spicy class. Rick Reed on the 59Y is in your lead.
And he took the checkered flag and the win. Mark Erickson on the 67W brought it home second, followed by
Bud Posson
Yeah.
on the 75, and Leroy Henderson on the 57.
This next one will be a little bit of a barn burner as our Pro-Am category comes to the starting line for heat race number 7 overall.
So what are the bikes for this class? What are we looking at? What are we seeing?
Most of these, and I think probably all of these, are going to be your 450cc single-cylinder DTX style bike. By DTX, I don't know what that designation really stands for, but it is basically a motocross bike that has been converted into flat track. They lower the suspension, put 19-inch tire or 19-inch wheels on, dirt track tires, and go racing. And that's the way a lot of racers are getting involved in flat track these days. And of course, the pro singles category that you'll see coming up a little later on, there is a pro category for those bikes. The cool thing about it is you see a lot of different makes and models. Basically, all of the manufacturers get involved. So you'll see Hondas, Kawasaki's, Yamahas, KTM's, Husqvarna's, Suzuki's.
So we're going to have that battle that I was talking about earlier at opening ceremonies. It looks like the number 21 machine is having a little trouble getting ready. He's got just a few moments to get that bike up and running and rejoin the grid. But Michaela Nichols is on bike 2, Corbin Erickson on the 18, Robert Harkins on the 117, Michael Mowry on 71, Dane Barbie on the 81. Keep an eye out for him and Erickson, 81 and 18, doing battle all night. Connor Strand on the 111 and Trent Hansen on the 21.
And it was the 21 of Trent Hansen that was having trouble, and now he's having problems again and going to have to pull off. Rick Barkholz, his road partner here this weekend, was trying to help him get it started, and he had it fired up and pulled to the line, and then it died again, and he said, just go ahead and send it. Well, I'm going to guess that's either the 18 or the 81 out front. And it's the 81, and look who's right up beside him. It's the 18.
I was just going to say, it's the 81 by a hair, and the 18 machine of Corbin Erickson hot on his heels. These boys have just been back and forth, battling it out all week long, really. But last night and tonight, I knew this was just going to be a real barn burner in here. Very evenly matched, good competitors, good friends.
Nope. Trent Hansen on the 21 gets the bike fired up and will join the fray.
Third place is the 111 machine of Connor Strand is in 3. And while he's putting a little bit of pressure on the 18 and 81 boys, it really is just between the two of them. I think they're having their own moment up there. Very exciting racing going on. Coming out of turn 4 right now, they are bar to bar, that 18 and 81 of Erickson and Barbie.
Yeah, get this, Jackie. On Friday night at the short track, it was Dane Barbie with the win, Corbin Erickson second. Same thing on Saturday night on the short track. On Monday night, Dane Barbie once again took the win with Declan Bender coming in second, and Erickson wasn't there. Barbie took the wins at the Super TT, and then last night, Corbin Erickson came back, took the win, and put Barbie in second. But currently, Dane Barbie leading the points in the Pro-Am category for this week.
And it still is that 81 and 18 out there as the checkers go down, absolutely neck and neck. Some more great racing out there. And throwing a wheel in the air on the back stretch, celebrating. Very fun, very, very fun racing to watch. The main event for that is going to be extra spicy. I think it's going to be extra exciting.
Yeah, it should be good. We'll move now into our 0 to 250cc category. We will have the number 58 of the Daredevil, Dylan Durrell. How much did he pay you to establish that nickname?
I just thought it was funny, and he just insisted on it.
Jason Fawcett will be on the number 10 motorcycle, and then Cadence Huron will be back out on the number 52 as they begin to make their way towards the starting line from the staging area.
And the 52 bike of Cadence Heron is on your inside. Jason Fawcett on that 10 in the middle. Dylan Durrell on the 58 on the outside. Dylan Durrell makes the jump off of the line. But with Cadence having that little bit better inside placement, she's definitely in a really, really good spot and is in one. This is race number 8, the 0 to 250cc class. 52 bike is in front of Cadence Heron, Dylan Durrell in 2, and Jason Fawcett on the 10 machine in 3.
We do want to thank everybody that's tuned in to our live stream on Facebook and YouTube. If you'd like to follow the races on Xtreem Flat Track, we do try to live stream them. You can find our Facebook page at Xtreem Flat Track. We're also on Instagram. We have the YouTube channel. I think that's all of our social media. You can also find us at extremeflattrack.com. Cadence leading Dylan through turns 1 and 2. She's got that 250cc Honda screaming.
And checkers are going to be out for Cadence Heron in 1, Dylan Durrell in 2, and Jason Fawcett in 3rd. Next, coming out to the grid for race number 9, this is our Vintage Pro Twin class. Welcome back to the grid, Mr. Rick Reed on the 59Y machine. Jim Otley, first time seeing him out here tonight on the 58Y. Jim Otley again with that beautiful red Scout, that Indian motorcycle that we saw earlier tonight that Bugs Pearson was doing exhibition laps on. Jim Otley on the 58Y. And the wild man, the wild card, Billy Smith on the 13 machine out here. So these are 3 very fast gentlemen on the Vintage Pro Twin.
Yeah, and this 58Y bike of Jim Otley is one of the original Shell Yamaha 750 bikes, and it is really cool. And actually, if you take a look at all 3 of these motorcycles.
Very cool bikes all the way across the board. This is a great class full of characters and full of very fast racers. It's on the line nice and clean. It takes the whole shot. But it's going to be very, very tight racing between these 3. They're all so incredibly talented on such unique and quite powerful machines. Definitely keep an eye out on this class because this is going to be some pretty exciting racing. I can already tell Jim Otley still in 1, Rick Reed in 2, and Billy Smith in 3rd.
Billy Smith closing in on Rick Reed to try to take that 2nd position. Can't get it done there as they'll scoot into turn number 3. Jim Otley has been legging this 750 twin out. Seems to be running better than it was last night. He had a problem over at the Buffalo Chip Super TT. He ran this bike and came off of over the start finish line, which was a tabletop, a small tabletop, but they did catch a little bit of air coming off of it. When he landed, you heard the clank and it busted the case. And strangely enough, he was able to find the side of the case that he needed. Some guy had it that lived just down the road from the Buffalo Chip here in Sturgis.
I think that's what's so fascinating about racing at places like this. You know, here in Daytona both, there's just so many motorcycle enthusiasts of all different types that if something happens to your bike, no matter what, I can almost promise somebody is going to have it only like within the hour, someone will have it.
Yeah.
So Jim Otley still out there in 1, Rick Reed in 2nd, Billy Smith out there in 3rd.
Of course, the interesting thing about Jim Otley is he is a United States Air Force veteran, actually worked on F-16 airplanes and then was a big part of the F-35 plane program. And he is technically MacGyver. He can take chewing gum, a hairpin, and a rubber band and do just about anything.
I truly believe that. Super nice guy. Tons of great bikes in his stable. He's always willing to bring them out, show them off, let people ride him for exhibition rides, and was literally born into a motorcycle race family. It's in his blood. He's comes from multi-generational race family, so it's no surprise to see him out here having a great time. And Jim Otley takes the checkers with Rick Reed in 2nd and Billy Smith in 3rd. Yeah, Jim was telling me a great story in the pit before tonight's race about how his mom traveled on a motorcycle out to the West Coast, saw who would become his dad, her husband, at the races racing.
Oh, wow.
And was like the minute she saw him was like, that's my future husband. And sure enough it was. So he grew up in motorcycling, has always had a bike underneath him. Just really fascinating, awesome story from Mr. Jim Otley, our winner for that Vintage Pro Twin class. Race number 10 is heading to the grid right now. This is our Pro Singles out here, another very fast class. Sean Neshofer on the number 98, Davey Durrell on the 58, Terrence Santero, who we spoke with earlier, on the 75F, Justin Anselmi on the 15, and Jacob Cassio on the 21M machine.
And this should be a great battle. Keep your eyes on the 75 and the 58. Last night, some of the best racing we saw came out of this Pro Singles category. And a lot of it was because of these two that are out in front, Davey Durrell and Terrence Santero, T-Money, trying to run down his elder, Davey Durrell.
The 98 of Sean Neshofer was in 3rd, right behind T-Money, Terrence Santero. And Terran is putting the move on the 58 bike at Davey Durrell. And he's going to make an inside pass on turn 3 into 4 and makes a clean pass.
That Kawasaki makes some power, as you saw him just charge past Davey Durrell down the back stretch. But here comes Davey Durrell trying to get back around as they go into turn number 1. Can't get it done. Santero opening up a couple of bike links over Davey Durrell as they head down the back stretch. Davey Durrell, a wily veteran, been doing this a long time. Of course, known for building great suspension products. His whole family involved in racing. If you look on our Facebook page, you'll see in the interview that I did with his wife, Camsey, a little earlier today. But T-Money, Terrence Santero, going to lead him another lap. And I tell you what, this kid out of California is extremely fast. Are we sure that Taryn doesn't have a twin motor in that bike? Is that a Kawasaki 750?
I know. I don't know what's going on in that green machine, but it's got the magic. It has just been on fire the past 2 nights. Clearly taking like a duck to water. That was a Ducati joke. Taking like a duck to water out here on this half-mile track. Leading Davey Durrell. 98 with Sean Nesshofer in 3rd. It looked like Justin Anselmi in 4th. And the white flag is out. This is going to be your last lap. For Terrence Santero, Davey Durrell, Sean Nesshofer in 3.
Terrence Santero coming out of turn number 4. He'll make his way down the start front to take the checkered flag.
So that was our race number 10, our pro singles. Some exciting racing going on out there. But again, I don't know what he's feeding there, Kawasaki, but woo! Some very fast racing going on. This race number 10 is a 2-parter because this is going to be a pretty big grid out here. This is our second pro singles. This is our B class. This is Brian Layfelt on the 67W, Jesse Janish on the 96. Dawson Schieffer was slated to be up on this grid, but I don't think he is going to be. He's number 33. Cody Kopp on the 43 and Joe Brittenham on the 17G. And I do not see Dawson Schieffer, so I do not believe he is going to be making it to the races tonight, unfortunately. Again, he's okay. He hand grenaded, his engine blew up during practice, actually, which is really, really unfortunate. And it's Jesse Janish right out of the gate, hot and heavy, getting the whole shot. Cody Kopp right on his tail.
Well, not only has this week been hard on the riders and the crews, but it's been hard on the bikes. You think about 7 days of racing, and these bikes, some of them have their tongues hanging out.
I mean, definitely. And just even considering the different disciplines to have to make those bikes work. Short track to a very rough up and down, left and right super TT to a great big huge half mile out here. If you don't have a backup bike, this has been a lot of wrenching going on for you this week. I bet there's been a lot of work going on over in the pit paddock if you don't have a backup or secondary bike. Still is Janish number 1, Cody Kopp in 2. Brian Layfelt on the 67 bike in 3. Followed by Joe Brittenham hot on his tails. So right now there's 2 very separate races going on. It's Jesse Janish and Cody Kopp battling it out for 1 and 2, and 3 and 4. It's going to be the Duke Out arm wrestling match back there of Joe Brittenham and Brian Layfelt. Cody Kopp really wants to make a pass back there on the back stretch on Jesse. And I think he's going to go for it, sling away on the inside. I don't know if Jesse's going to let it stand. Cody Kopp gets the clean pass and is currently in front of Jesse Janish. Again, Jesse, our point leader right now, looking to pick up that $2,500 bonus cash money that is going to be doled out tonight to our points winner.
Wow, some great bar-to-bar racing here. Cody Kopp on the 43, Jesse Janish on the 96 as they were Side by side, bar to bar, through turn number 1 and 2. Janish back out in the lead now, but here comes Cody Kopp once again.
That battle a little further down. Pack is spread out a little bit. It's not quite as bar to bar. White flag is out. Janish is in 1. Kopp is in 2nd. "17 Bite of Brittenham is in 3.
Checkered flag for Jesse Janish here in Pro Singles Heat Race B. Cody Kopp was right there. Those two put on a pretty good battle. Should be an exciting main event when we see Jesse, Cody, Terrence Santero, and Davey Durrell mix it up, not to leave anybody else out. Of course, Sean Nesshofer could always jump up in there, and many of the other riders, but those four seem to be running extremely well last night and tonight, putting on a great show here at Black Hills Speedway.
And what a gorgeous night it is out here. Beautiful sunset. Look at this. I don't know if you can see this at home to our at-home viewers and our live streamers. But if you're here live watching this racing, you are in for a light show. Look at this beautiful sunset. Gorgeous weather all week long. Super grateful for that. It makes for some excellent, excellent racing. And we have another grid heading out right now. This is our 50 and over class. Jim Otley on the 58Y. Alan Frampton, not to be confused with Peter Frampton, on the 85. Mark Erickson on the 167. And away we go. Jim Otley in 1. And this is our 50 and over seasoned racer class. Followed by the 167 bike of Mark Erickson and the 85 of Alan Frampton in 3. Jim Otley sitting high, wide, and handsome out there. Smooth sailing going on right now in this 50 and over senior seasoned racer class. And its last lap, white flag is out for Jim Otley in 1. Mark Erickson in 2. Alan Frampton in 3rd. Checkers are out. No big surprises here, but a big wheelie in the air on the back stretch, celebrating that win. Jim Otley in 1, Mark Erickson in 2nd, Alan Frampton in 3rd. And that was our 50 and over senior class. I almost said singles. 50 and over senior class. Our next class coming on out, race 12, is 30 and over class. 30 and over are adults for real class. Camden Durrell on the 58 machine. Billy Smith back out here, the wild card on number 13. Trent Hansen on the 21 should be making his way out here as well. He did have, I think, a little bike trouble earlier in tonight's race program. So hopefully that got sorted out. If I remember correctly, he was having a good race and had to pull off. So hopefully he got his bike all dialed back in because he is back on the grid. He is on the inside position. However, it's been a little all over the place here tonight. I can't quite figure out if it's smarter to be on the inside or outside because it's just been back and forth. actually the middle is who got the jump this time, and that was Billy Smith on that 13 machine, pulling a strong lead right out of the gate and getting that whole shot. It certainly looked like Trent Hansen was going to give him a run for his money for a second on the inside. Billy Smith in one, followed by Trent Hansen in second, and Kamsey Durrell on the 58 bike in third. This is your 30 and over adult like you mean it class. But they're still battling it out because that second racer, again, Trent Hansen is not giving up. He was absolutely on the rear tire of Billy Smith. I think he's going to try to get back in there and do a little inside pass. Billy Smith having some wild racing going on here last night. All sorts of just hanging it all the way out this entire week. But he did have a real nasty head shake coming down the straight last night. It was incredibly noticeable, even up here in the box. I stopped by his pit earlier tonight, talked to him about it a little bit. He did do some adjusting to his front suspension to steady and settle that bike a little bit. And it seems to have worked out. It's very, very smooth looking, especially on the straights. But I don't know if that's going to help it because Trent Hansen is putting up a fight, still just clinging to that rear wheel. And Kamsey Durrell in third place, about a quarter of a track behind those two. And white flag last lap is out. Billy Smith still holding on to one, but just barely. Trent Hansen desperately trying to make that pass on turn 2, heading down the back straight. And checkers are out. It is going to be Billy Smith in 1, Trent Hansen in 2, Kamsey Durrell in 3rd. But definitely some interesting racing going on here all week long. Again, the first handful of races were at the short track in Sturgis at the very historical Jack Pine Gypsies location. A very cool track out there. If you haven't had the chance to go, I strongly encourage you to go check it out. That was a couple nights of short track racing followed by 2 days daytime races of a super style TT. And woo, was it super. It was up and downs and lefts and rights and a hill climb and blind curves. And it was a very, very intense dirt track race meets a tiny little bit of motocross. Very, very, very rough track out there. But some of these folks just loved it and had a blast. And then they had to come here for this huge half mile. So a very, very difficult week. Definitely putting everybody and their bikes to the test to figure out tuning and gearing and suspension. Oh my! And away they go. Race 13, the 65cc class. I had 3 signups for this class, but only 2 bikes are out there. And it did earlier tonight. Rip Regal had to pull off of track, so I don't know if he managed to get his motorcycle back out here and is competing. So let me wait for them to come back down the front stretch. The green flag is out. The 27 of Hamlin Durrell in 1. At the 46 of Sam Brittingham in 2. It looks like Rip Regal did not make it back out here on the 77 machine. And you're not imagining things. You've definitely heard the last name Durrell several times tonight. It is a total family affair out here for the Durrell family. Mom, dad, kids, everybody races out here, which is really cool, very exciting, and they're all very fast. I spoke with one of the younger Durrells earlier tonight about what kind of advice mom or dad hands down to them, and they said the only thing dad really tells them is to not suck. And to always keep the throttle on. That was the key piece of advice of the Durrell clan. That is their motto. That is their slogan, and it seems to be working because Checkered Flags comes out for Cameron Durrell on the 27 bike. Sam Brittenham on the 46 is in second.
Jackie, I interrupt this very important program to give some money away. All right, we have our 50-50 winner. Pull out your tickets. If you have ticket number 0566388, 0566388, you can make your way to the front gate. You are the 50-50 winner.
That's right, race fans. Here in the stands, we are giving away cold, hard cash over at the front gate. So make sure you got that 50-50 ticket out. You will have to show it to them. They will need to see it. You can't just head up there and ask for some cash, although I certainly don't blame you. And our next class headed to the grid right now is going to be race number 14. This is an open vintage class. So you're going to hear some familiar names out here, including Rick Reed back out here on the 59Y, Jim Otley on the 58Y, Keystone Cop, and yes, that's his real name, and it is real excellent. Keystone Cop on the 85K, Clint Erickson on the 57, and Rick Barkholt, also known as Ridiculous Racing on the number 5.
Need anything?
A little shuffle for position down on the grid. Everybody getting tucked into their spots. It looks like the 57 bike of Clint Erickson is doing a little bit of a repositioning out here. He wasn't quite satisfied with that spot. He's going to move a little bit more inside to make some more room for a fellow competitor. And this is your race number 14, open vintage class. Oh, all sorts of wheelies right off the line.
Yeah, Rick Barkholtz on the number 5 had to kind of crank the throttle back down to get the front end back on the ground.
I don't know if they thought this was like a freestyle class competition going on out here, a wheelie contest. But a couple of wheels in the air, lots of excitement. I can tell already that it is Rick Reed on the 59Y in second place because your leader is going to be the 58 of Jim Otley. Thank you so much for the distinct leathers and distinct gear that you are wearing. It makes you very easy to see.
Rick's son, Randy, actually just chatted with us on the Facebook live stream. He couldn't be here tonight to watch Dad and help him out, so he's watching us on Facebook.
Okay, it's going to get real spicy in turn 4 right now because Rick Reed is clawing his way up to Jim Otley, but he has got Rick Barkholtz just on his exhaust. He is absolutely just stuck to him like a tick. And I think Rick is possibly eyeballing making an inside pass, but Jim Otley is just taking up the entire groove, not letting anybody get by out there. And Rick does make that pass. So now it is Jim Otley 1, Rick Barkholtz on the number 5 machine in 2, Rick Reed on the 59 bike in 3rd. And our friends Keystone Cop and Clint Erickson a little further down pack in 4 and 5. It's the 57 of Clint Erickson in 4 and Keystone Cop in 5. I just like saying his name a lot.
Keystone Cop?
It's the greatest name I've ever heard in my life. And the white flag is out. This is it. This is going to be last lap for this absolute battle going on up at the front. Jim Ott is still in 1, but Ridiculous Racing is right on him in 2nd place, and I mean right on him, like touching, like real close. Third place is going to be Rick Reed out there. And the checkers is going to come out. Jim Otley 1, Rick Bartholz 2, Rick Reed 3, 57 bike of Clint Erickson 4, and Keystone Cop on 85 is in 5th. So great racing in these vintage classes. I always love how much excitement they bring to it. It's like you never know if they're going to make it, if they're going to break down, if they're going to, it's just you never know what's going to happen. It's
Right.
very exciting.
We're going to move now into our combo class. This will be open amateur and 450 amateur, all combined. We are looking for the number 2 of Michaela Nichols. Then we'll have the number 18 of Corbin Erickson, the number 13 of Wild Billy Smith, the number 71 of Michael Mowry. Then it's the 81 of Dane Barbie, the 111 of Connor Strand, and the 21M of Jacob Cascio.
Casio, like your watch.
So the C is silent.
Casio.
All right.
Yep. I stopped by to ask, and that's,
That
how,
makes more
that's
sense.
how I'm remembering it. Casio, like your watch. But another very exciting race. This was really, really fun to watch last night. And a pretty deep grid going on. We've got 2 different rows. Going on for this race, and this is race 15. This is our open AM and 450 AM combined class.
And once again, we'll have the 81 and the 18 together in this one, and keep your eyes on them. It looks like we're going to restart that one as the red flag is out.
There was a little jump coming off the line, and I wasn't sure if he was gonna call it and make everybody regrid, but it does look like that is the case. One of the very inside bikes did jump the gun just a tiny little bit. So good eye by our flagman and by our crew down on the track. Good eye. So that means that whoever jumped that gun is going to have to be pushed back to not second row, but third row as a penalty, because this is a 2-row class, 2-row grid. So he or she is going to be way in the back. I don't know. I didn't quite catch who jumped it. I just saw a wheel go out real fast, a little early.
Well, our starter, Sideshow Bob, puts a third line down on there, and
Sideshow Bob, where's Jesse Janish? We need him back out here. All right, who's going to get dinged for that jump?
it looks like the 21M.
Looks like Casio might be getting dinged for it. Yep, it was. So Mr. Jacob Casio jumped the gun a little bit. He's going to be back there on the third row, all by his lonesome.
You know, I had one of the first ever Casio keyboards. It was about that big. It had single keys. You couldn't play chords on it, but you could play single notes, and then it did its own rhythm and thing.
You're old.
It's true. It is true.
There we go. Nice. And already it's just an absolute bump and grind fest between 18 and 81. And those are the machines of Barbie and Erickson. But Connor Strand on the 111 shouldn't be counted out. He raced earlier tonight, did a heck of a good job behind those two. So it's going to be close. 18 and 81 in second place already. Oh. If it bothers you, you can turn it.
It's just, it reflects off the.
Ah, gotcha.
What contraption is this?
machines of Corbin Erickson in 1, Dane Barbie in 2nd. And it's going to be Billy Smith on the 13 machine in 4th place. But there's a really good battle going on up at 1, 2, and 3. And the number 2 bike of Michaela Nichols is at the very back of the pack. Absolutely. So it's going to be Erickson, Barbie, Strand, followed by Billy Smith. Some real close racing up there. When we get to the main, it's going to be real hot and heavy. Woo!
Yeah, absolutely. And we get ready now as they work their way around the track, our open AM at 450 amps. And now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for the heavy metal. Here come the mighty Hooligans.
So this hooligan class, for those of you that might not be aware, definitely gaining in popularity, generally speaking, across the United States. It's going to be a 750 and cc above twins class. That's not always the case, but generally speaking, that's the case. So these are bikes that have a lot more displacement and potentially a lot more power than the bikes that you've been watching earlier tonight. So what that means is in the short tracks, these are a real wild handful, a lot of weight, around 400 and some change pounds, a lot of power, a lot of weight, little tough to turn. And on these half miles, what that means is a lot of power, a lot of speed, and also can potentially be tough to turn.
Yeah, and the one thing is these are stock motorcycles. They may look like real dirt trackers, but they're stock. You see a lot of them putting dirt track style bodywork on them, making them look very cool, but these are mostly stock Harley Davidsons. You see some Indians. We do have Jim Otley on a Triumph. They have to have the stock frame, stock engine.
It looks like TV Dinner, Terry Vestal out front on the number 27 bike. Terry Vestal has been having a great week out here and won a couple of races last night as well. Very, very fast. He's been racing a very long time. He is very old. I'm joking.
What? Don't mince your words, Jackie.
And he's amazing. No. TV Dinner is in 1 on the 27 bike, followed by Jim Otley in 2nd. It looked like Josh Young was in 3rd. I'm not going to lie, as night falls here, the back of this track gets a little dark back there and it's a little tough to see. So I've got to wait for them to come up to the lights to get a great big eye full of these guys. Green flag is still out. Everybody's still running and rocking and rolling. TV Dinner, Terry Vestal in 1.
Got a great battle going on for 2nd place as Jim Otley and, as you said,
Otley and Josh Young, I believe, are in 2nd and 3rd.
Young on that Tucker Speed entry, Harley Davidson power, battling with the Triumph of Jim Otley.
It is Josh Young in 3rd.
Now we have a battle heating up for the 4th position.
4th, 5th, and 6th back there is starting to get real interesting. It's 2 different races going on up here. It looks like Pedro Brown is going to be duking it out back there a little bit with Jacob Crawford. And Tyler Sargent on the 503 bike is out there on the grid tonight as well. Last lap, white flag out. It is Terry Vestal 1. Josh Young making a heck of a pass on Jim Otley.
Terry Vestal coming down the backstretch into turn number 3 as Josh Young now leading Jim Otley.
And Jacob Crawford at the very back of the pack on that 31. Checkers are out for TV dinner winner with Josh Young in second, Jim Otley in 3. 21 of Pedro Brown in 4.
Well, and Pedro must have got some of the bugs worked out of his Harley Davidson, as he ran a lot better there in that heat race than he was having some problems last night. You said you talked to him earlier. He was not real happy with his performance or the way the bike was working.
Absolutely. So it seemed like they must have gotten that sorted out a little bit. But I heard that from a lot of racers tonight. Last night really felt like, because like I was mentioning earlier, all of these bikes have had to go through so many changes. If you didn't bring multiple bikes to compete on all these different types of tracks, all these different disciplines, you were just constantly wrenching, adjusting transmissions, sprockets, gearing. You were constantly changing things. And I think last night really was a bit of a trial run for a lot of our racers out here. This was their first chance to be on a half mile. So everybody had a chance to kind of dial their stuff in last night, and I think things are going to run a little bit smoother for them tonight, at least hopefully.
Yeah, well, and as we mentioned, they've gone from a short track to a super TT track, which was completely different, and especially for the hooligan racers, that proved to be challenging for many of them. I know Tyler Sargent knocked some parts off of his bike and had to get it put back together over at the Super TT, and same thing, Jim Otley on his vintage 750 twin. And for the you don't typically see a stock Harley Davidson in a stock frame catching air, but we did see that over there, and it proved to be pretty exciting.
Pigs do fly, Jason. Pigs do fly.
That's exactly right.
Well, it looks like we're heading into a little bit of an intermission while we go ahead and re-grid everybody, get all that paperwork all dialed in so we know where everyone is going to be racing. So for our fans that are here watching the racing live, we're going to be in intermission for a few moments. So this is a perfect opportunity to go grab yourself a delicious snack or drink from the concession stand. Go help yourself. There's all sorts of yummy food over there. I'm probably going to head on down and grab myself a pretzel. I'm not going to lie. And I just want to take a minute and thank some of our awesome sponsors for a great week of racing. This race came together really fast. It was an awesome opportunity for the folks at Xtreem Flat Track Race Program to put together some exciting racing and really pay homage to the very roots of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, which is in dirt track and flat track racing. But all those things can't happen without these awesome sponsors. So thank you to Adam, Ryan, and Jason from Shinko Tires, LS2 Helmets, Moto Gear, Custom Leathers, Leroy Henderson, TNL, Synthetics, and Amsoil, and of course, the awesome folks over at Light Shoe. We're going to be in intermission for a few moments, so feel free to grab yourself a snack. For our friends watching at home, we will be back shortly. Grab yourself a snack too.
and gentlemen, we are just about ready to get into our main event action to close out the week of the Ronnie Stratton Memorial Sturgis Rally Championship Series here with Xtreem Flat Track. It is a beautiful night at Black Hills Speedway. We want to thank all of you that are here with us at the track and all of you that are tuning in on our Facebook and YouTube feeds, and those of you that have just joined us that have come in from Chompertown, thanks to Jackie Van Ham and your influence.
Welcome, viewers. Welcome to tonight's program. This is kicking off your main events again here at the Ronnie Stratton Memorial Sturgis Championship Series. This has been 7 excellent races, 3 totally different disciplines over the course of 9 days here at Sturgis. It has just been back to back to back to back nonstop race action all week long. Huge thanks to all of the hardworking folks, flagmen, corner workers, timing, announcing, organizing, production teams of Xtreem Flat Track Racing. It's been a great week, and no better way really to have awesome racing than here during the 80th Sturgis Rally. The foundations of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally since 1938 are, of course, deeply, deeply rooted in motorcycle, flat track, and dirt track racing. That first race in 1938, consisting of just a handful of Indian motorcycles, spearheaded by a gentleman named Pappy Hole, which should make a lot of sense to a lot of you Sturgis fans. Very legendary names out here. So really exciting to have an awesome race program be involved with the Sturgis Rally. Again, there was some concern this year about it not happening, but we're really excited to have had a great weekend tonight. The jewel in the crown here at this beautiful banked half-mile track here in Rapid City.
And we're getting ready to bring out our Open Pro main event competitors. This one is for all the marbles, as they say, a $2,500 bonus for the points champion for this week. Right now, the number 1 spot is held by the number 96 of Jesse Janish. He took the win Friday night at the Jack Pine Gypsies short track. Then he won again on Saturday night. On Monday night, he finished second to Bugs Pearson. And then we moved over to the Buffalo Chip for the Super TT, and it was all Jesse Janish all the time as he took wins in both the Open Pro categories on Tuesday and Thursday and also the Pro Singles categories on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but the points count in Open Pro. Now here last night on the half mile, he was on a different bike, and things didn't work out quite right for him. He actually finished 7th last night here on the half mile of Black Hills Speedway, made some gearing changes for today's action, and that improved the bike tremendously. Also made some adjustments to his riding style and came out and won the heat race in Pro Singles. But there's a young man on a green Kawasaki out of California named T-Money, Terran Santero, that has been very impressive here on the half mile.
Yeah, Terran Santero, definitely, woo, a name to remember out here. He won the heat class for tonight, so he is first. He is P1 on the grid, the 75F machine of Terran Santero, followed by Jesse Janish on the number 96. Third, P3 is going to be James Rispoli, one of the only, if not the only twin machine out here tonight on the number 43. The rest of the pack is going to be in 4th place, Cody Kopp on the 43. 5th place, Davey Durrell on the 58. 6th place, Justin Anselmi on the number 15. 7th place is going to be Robert Bugs Pearson, who also has been doing a great job helping out, getting all these tracks prepped, especially the Super TT over at the Buffalo Chip. He's been an integral part, so it's awesome to see him out here on the number 27 and 7th spot. 8th spot, Joe Brittenham on the 17G. 9th, Sean Nesshofer of the 98 machine. 10, Jacob Cassio on the 21 bike. Number 11 is going to be the Dylan Fox on the 69. 12 is going to be Brian Leinfeld on the 67. Dawson Schiefer. And away they go right out of the gate. Jesse Janish already in 1, and it looked like Cody Kopp in 2, and it is just an absolute straight line freight train coming down the back stretch. But whoever was in 3 is now creeping up, show to wheel, but is now going to settle back on down as we come around turn 4. Back down the stretch again, it's Janish in 1, a great pass. happening in that turn one. Just an awful lot of back and forth going on. Super exciting racing. This is for all of the marbles.
And look at that V-twin Harley power around down the back stretch.
So again, Hog Spoley, James Rispoli taking position 1, Jesse Janish in 2, Cody Cobb in 3.
James Rispoli leads him around one more time on the number 43, the Harley XG750 twin. Is that Taryn Santero that moved up out of the groove?
So it's going to be Rispoli, Janish, Kopp, and Taryn Santero, who's just been crushing it the past couple of nights out here. He is in 4, but it is not over yet, friends. This is an awful lot of back and forth grind out here. And I would not count Taryn out at all.
Well, I think even with a second place finish, Jesse Janish will seal up the points lead. His closest competition, Dawson Schieffer, not making the call tonight after a bike malfunction. Well, just bike disintegration in practice.
Super unfortunate hand grenade happened to Dawson Schieffer, unfortunately. Threw a rod on his bike, literally dangling out the side of his case. So unfortunately, it was not Dawson Schieffer's bike tonight. He's had a great week out here. He was in the hunt with Jesse Janish.
Yeah, James Rispoli has only been here for last night and tonight, and then Cody Kopp was only here on Thursday, last night and today. But now,
Taryn moves up. Taryn is in second. Santero in 2. Janish in 3. Kopp 4. They're just absolutely just ping-ponging back and forth between 2, 3, and 4. James Rispoli, though, out by several bike lengths. Again, with that big XG750 Harley Davidson twin machine, he's going to be pretty much untouchable here. But this battle for 2, 3, 4 is going to be real interesting. Again, it's Santero, Janish, and Kopp in 4.
that Kawasaki of Taryn Santero is extremely powerful. We just, I think the only bike that's capable of outrunning it is the one that's in front of her right now, which is the V-twin.
Yeah.
But we have seen that Kawasaki make some huge power down the straightaways. Cody Kopp now in second place on the KTM. Jesse Janish on the Husqvarna now right on his back fender.
And it looked like in the middle of that pack, Davey Durrell is right behind that cluster of 2, 3, 4 battle. There's quite a few bike legs back there. It looked like Davey Durrell is down there in 5. And it looks like we're going to start getting some lap traffic here in just a moment. Everybody is starting to spread out pretty far here. But it still is Rispoli in 1, Santero in 2, Kopp now in 3, Janish 4, David Durrell 5.
Checkered flag for James Rispoli, Taryn Santero in second, Cody Kopp third, Jesse Janish fourth. Then I believe it's Davey Durrell, and I'm not sure who that is. Somebody in between Durrell and Bugs Pearson, and I can't tell who it is.
And definitely, it's a little bit different out here tonight with this half-mile track. It's absolutely massive. It's very difficult for us to see as an announcing team without transponders and a usual, sometimes TV set that's in front of us to be able to call these races because they're just so far away on the opposite side of the track, and it is quite dark over there.
Not to mention we could both probably use some LASIK surgery or something.
And you're not lying. The pair of us are both 4 eyes, and it's just ridiculous. I'm sure we've got 16 eyes between us. Okay, so next grid coming on out here, race number 2, 70s singles, 80s singles.
You will have the number 410 of Mark Erickson, the number 5 of Rick Bartholz. I'm going to let you do it.
Ridiculous racing, and they're off. Speaking of ridiculous, out gets the whole shot right off the line.
And you've got Leroy Henderson on the number 57, the TNL Synthetics AMSOIL TT500 Yamaha out there.
And this is race number 2, your 70s and 80s singles class. Rick Bartholz, Ridiculous Racing is in your lead. Mark Erickson in 2, Leroy Henderson in 3. Thanks, Kathy. I do love the sound these bikes make out here. So this is going to be a 70s singles and 80s singles class. These are all really good-sized thumpers out here, putting down that power with that single cylinder. But the sound that they make is just totally, there's nothing like it. It's just such a great sounding bike out here. Rick Bartholz is just making easy, quick work of this race tonight. A full quarter track in front of number 2, which would be Mark Erickson, and Leroy Henderson in 3. Leroy Henderson, part of our sponsorship package for tonight with the synthetics and AMSOIL. So huge thanks to him for stepping up and ponying up some lube. If you love it, lube it for some of our racers for this past week. And also, he just has been genuinely so excited the past 2 nights being out here racing this great big huge half-mile track. You just can't wipe the smile off of his face. Is he winning? Is he in position 1? No. But does it matter? Also no. He just is having a great time, and I love seeing that. I've got some checkers coming out for Ridiculous Racing. Oh, white flag out right now. Sorry, last lap. He has the checkers in his other hand. He's nodding his head.
He's trying to keep us on our toes up here. Thank you, Sideshow Bob.
Well, there's a tower, like a timing tower or something, directly in front of where our flagman is standing, so it's kind of hard to see. Perfect. Checkers are out. Rick Bartholz, Ridiculous Racing with the win.
And that's going to make that trip from Missoula, Montana all the more worth it.
Mark Erickson in 2, and Leroy Henderson is in 3rd. Good job, Leroy.
You should have seen Leroy. He was part of the Bugs Pearson Throttle Therapy School on Thursday. Picked up a couple of tips and tidbits, and they made some adjustments to his bike, but he went out on the short track and at one point came through turns 3 and 4 and got a little loose and took a little bit of a ride, stayed on the bike, saved it, or I don't know if he saved the bike or the bike saved him, but either way, he stayed upright. But you should have seen his face. It was a mixture of not quite terror, but a big smile and one of those, oh boy, that was close looks.
Well, I'm glad he's had a good time out here and has gotten that bike all sorted out. It's running really, really nice tonight, which is great. Again, I think a lot of folks used last night or inadvertently used last night as a bit of a test and tune for this great big huge half mile and are just getting these bikes sorted out for tonight's race. So our next race headed to the grid right now, race number 3. This is 250 AM on the number 58 machine. Dylan Durrell, the number 7 bike of Michael Mowry, and Cadence Heron on the 52.
looked like Dylan struggled just a little bit off the starting line, which was unusual for him.
And Michael Mowry is just having a really, really great couple of days out here. Again, if you're just now joining the program, Michael Mowry was a two-time 2019 champion with the Xtreem Flat Track Racing program, and he currently is in first position here. He is on the number 71 machine. My card says 7, but he's on the 71. Michael Mowry is in 1.
Some great teenage racers. Michael Mowry, just 14 years old.
The 52 machine of Cadence Heron is in second place, and Dylan Durrell on the 58 bike is in third. Again, this is your 250 amateur class. Yeah, very smooth sailing for these two teenagers, 3 teenagers technically, but 2 teenagers up front especially. It was really unfortunate to see the 58 machine have a little bit of struggle coming off the line because he just has not been able to make it up.
Michael Mowry, he's done really well this week, but has made his mother shriek a couple of times. He's managed to stay upright, but he's gotten loose a few times, and you could hear Mom wherever she was. But that's all part of flat track motorcycle racing. Sometimes it's a little bit on the edge, which is why it is so exciting.
And Michael Mowry still in 1 with Cadence Heron on the 52 machine in 2. Third place is going to be Dylan Durrell. Another name that we've heard multiple times tonight, the Durrell Racing family. The family that races together stays together. And that would be the Durrells for sure. It is a mom, dad, and kids. It's a whole family affair out here. And everybody very fast.
Absolutely.
Very, very quality racing going on with the Durrell folks.
I had an opportunity to do a quick interview with Camsey Durrell, the mom of the family, on our Facebook page. If you get a chance to go back and watch that. And we talked a little bit about what it's like to be both a racer and mom watching your kids race.
And it's going to be last lap, white flag out for Michael Mowry in 1, Cadence Heron in 2, and Dylan Durrell in 3rd. Last lap. And checkers are out. No surprises. The winner, Michael Mowry on that 71 machine, followed by Cadence Heron and Dylan Durrell.
Well, that's a pretty solid week for young Michael Mowry. 6 wins out of 7 races. There was only one night that Cadence Heron was able to get around him and take the win, but otherwise it has been all Michael Mowry all the time in the 250 amateur class.
Yeah, very, very fast young man for sure. Really passionate, really excited about all these different tracks, all these different types of disciplines. Having a really, really fun week up here at the 80th Sturgis Rally. The Ronnie Stratton Memorial Sturgis Series going on all week long, presented by Xtreem Flat Track Racing. Our next class is headed to the grid right now, race number 4. This is the 85cc class. The number 77 machine of Rip Regal, the number 27 of Camlin Durrell, the number 12 NK of Nicholas Carnes, and the number 46 of Sam Brittenham.
Nicholas Carnes having a great week. Oh, well, Michael Mowry's going to come out and do a checker flag lap, and he deserves it.
Michael Mowry just wrestled the checkered flag away from our flag man. He insists on getting a parade lap, a victory lap. Good for you, Michael. I don't blame you. He's had a great week out here. It's the final night. 7 pretty tough races in 9 days going on out here. He's definitely earned it. Put your hands together, Rapid City race fans, for Michael Mowry.
I absolutely think if you win 6 races in 1 week, you get to take a victory lap on the last night.
I agree. Look at him. He's so pumped out there.
Mom, why did you not get a ride on the bike? I mean, he just left you behind.
Oh, she's busy. Mrs. Mowry, Mom Mowry out here, part of our timing crew, part of the awesome team out here helping make everything run smoothly. So huge thanks to her.
Yeah, we're very appreciative of Lisa and Scott Mowry for being a big supporters of Xtreem Flat Track and big help. And also Michael's been a pretty big help to us this week, working behind the scenes, helping take some fencing down over at the Buffalo Chip Super TT, and always willing to help out, pitch in, and
super good.
What a great week!
Super good kid, super good family. No big surprises though. It's one of my favorite things about the flat track racing community is it all is just such a family affair. Literally with the racers. And then even with their attitudes towards helping, and away they go. This is going to be the 85cc class. And again, there was a little bit of problem coming off of that grid for one of our racers out there, one of our little mini racers in this 85cc class.
Nicholas Carnes has been very strong in the 85cc class all week long. He took a win Friday night, finished second Saturday night, was winner again on Monday night, second at the Super TT on Tuesday and Thursday, and then he ran second last night, but I believe he is leading the points for the series for this week. Cameron Durrell's jumped in there, and he picked up one win on Tuesday at the Super TT and won it here last night. And these kids have just been having a blast and putting on a great show. And the 27 and the 12 battling now for the lead with Cameron Durrell out front as they go into turns 1 and 2.
And a little battle going back on down pack between 3 and 4 with Rip Regal, who had some sort of bike trouble, some mechanical troubles earlier, but he's back out here on the grid. He is in 3.
That's Sam, I am, Brittenham. I just made that up. Can you tell?
That was wonderful. You are a true wordsmith. Rip Rage in 3rd place. Behind his tail, that looks like, is that the 12 machine of Nick Carnes?
I think Carnes is running second to the 27 of.
Oh, Sam Brittenham. You're right. Sorry.
Yep. But
So
I think
Sam Brittenham is making the move on the back stretch and just made a great pass back there.
Yeah, and I think we had a pass for the lead too. Is I believe Nick Carnes got around Cameron Durrell.
There's just 2 separate races going on here. And it looks like white flag is out last lap.
All right.
And the checkers.
Wow, what a race down to the finish line. The win going to Nicholas Carnes, and Cameron Durrell just about a wheel length back beside him.
That was some great racing. That was super close. Some awesome passing. Good job, guys. Good job. We've got the checkers coming out now for the second half of the race. This was another very, very good battle going on between these two. And again, that's Rip Regal on the 77 and Sam I am Brittenham on the number 46. Put your hands together, Rapid City race fans, for those little mini kids out there racing their little hearts out. That was excellent. Holding that bike wide open for a half mile. Woo! I don't know if I would have been willing to do that when I was, 9 years old? I don't think I would have been ready. I don't think I would have been ready to do it.
At 9 years old, I would have been ready. Today, I probably wouldn't, especially even on an 85.
All right, next grid coming out. Race number 5. This is our 40 and over class. This is our slightly seasoned veteran class. This is going to be Camsey Durrell on the number 58 bike, Brian Layfeld on the 67W, Billy Smith, the wild card on the 13, Scott Mowry on the number 71 machine, and Pedro Brown on number 21. And again, this is race number 5. This is our 40 and over class. This is our slightly seasoned veteran class. Flag drops away to the authority, the number 13 machine of Billy Smith with Brian Layfeld on the 167 right on his tail. But the wild man, Billy Smith, coming out really strong right out of the gate. Layfeld on that 167, though, is not letting him get away that easily. He's only one bike length back between first and into second. Third place is going to be Camsey Durrell on the 58. Oh, and a little bobble in turn 1 from our second place racer right now, which would be Brian Layfeld. Got a little topsy-turvy in turn 1. Obviously just pushing it right to the edge, trying to catch up with the wild man, Billy Smith, on the number 13 bike. Camsey Durrell in 3, the number 21 bike of Pedro Brown in 4.
Battle for the lead, Jackie, as Brian Layfeld closing up the gap on Billy Smith as they come down the back stretch going into turn number 3. Layfeld was up beside him going into the turn, but Billy Smith turns on the throttle coming out of turn 4 and will lead it another time by.
Still is Billy Smith all day long. However, Layfeld is creeping up on him. Camsey Durrell in 3. It looks like Pedro Brown in 4.
Billy Smith going to lead him by the start-finish line one more time. Layfeld just trying to get back up there. He closes up the gap a little bit going into turn number 1, but Billy Smith still holding on out in the lead.
And our final racer at the very back of the pack should be Scott Mowry, but his number plate is not matching the card I have in front of me, but I believe that that is Scott Mowry out there.
That is the number 71.
And the wild man Billy Smith still large and in charge out there, charging down the back stretch. Brian Layfeld trying to make that pass, trying to muscle on up to him, but it's just not quite working out. White flag is out. This is last lap, and Billy Smith charging through turn 1 is quite possibly going to be catching up and hitting lap traffic here in just a moment. The bike of Scott Mowry is on the back stretch, and Billy Smith is just now entering the back straight as well. But now definitely widening the gap between him and second place. Second place, Brian Layfeld on that 167 bike. And checkers out. It's Billy Smith all day long, the wild man. Brian Layfeld in 2. Camsey Durrell in 3. The 21 bike of Pedro Brown in 4. And the back of the pack, that is going to be Mr. Scott Mowry on the 71 machine. And that was our 40 and over, slightly senior, just slightly senior class, race number 5. Race number 6, this is going to be 60 and over and 70 and over. This is our senior extra spicy, extra seasoned class, seasoned veteran class. This is going to be Leroy Henderson on the 57 bike. Rick Reed, welcome back again on the 59Y. Mark Erickson heading right back out here to race in this class on the 67W. And Bud Pawson on the 75. This is 60 and over and 70 and over senior class. Rick Reed having a great couple of nights out here. I don't know what the rest of this week looked like, but just very solid racing. And again, right off the line, nice and clean. First one out the gate, gets the whole shot. Just very, very fast, very smooth racing going on out there. Rick Reed is going to be in 1.
Well, Rick Reed picked up a win Monday night over at the short track in Sturgis, and then won both of the Super TTs in the 60-plus category, ran second here last night. But he's been having a lot of fun this week.
And it's going to be Mark Erickson in 2, and now there's a real good battle heating up on the back stretch between 3 and 4. That is going to be Charles Bud Pawson and Leroy Henderson back there.
If you're keeping up with the points for this week here in the 60-plus category, Mark Erickson is actually leading as he won the first 2 nights at the short track and then had solid top 3 performances Monday night, then Tuesday and Thursday.
It's going to get real interesting here in a second because Mark Erickson has found the throttle and is creeping up on Rick Reed over there, almost getting a pass on turn 4, just reeling him in slow and steady, wins the race. I can't quite tell if he's going to try to make a draft pass or if he's just doing a little strategy back there.
Probably trying to find his line and determine where he can make the pass. Both of these guys have been racing for a lot of years.
A very long time.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very long time. Very.
Yes, exactly.
This
They
is
have
our 60
wide
and over,
experience.
60 and over and 70 and over class. I'm just giving these gentlemen a little bit of grief. They have been racing a very long time. They're all incredibly talented, very fast, beautiful machines. And it is going to be Rick Reed still in 1. But Mark Erickson, who you were just saying has been racking up the points all week long, is in 2. But that might be changing here shortly. His last lap, white flag is out. 3rd place is going to be the 75 machine of Bud Pawson. And number 4 is Leroy Henderson on the 57 bike. And indeed, Rick Reed is going to be taking the checkers. Another great race for Mr. Rick Reed. He's been having a great night out here. Rick Reed, 1st place. Your 2nd place is going to be Mark Erickson. 3rd, Bud Charles Pawson on the 75. Crossing the line here in just a second. There we go. 3rd place. 4th place is going to be Leroy Henderson on the 57. Next feature race, our next main event is going to be race number 7. Quite a full class out here. This is our Pro-Am class. The number 2 machine of Michaela Nichols. Number 18 of Corbin Erickson. Number 117 of Robert Harkins. The number 71 of Michael Mowry. The number 81 of Dane Barbie. Number 111 of Connor Strand. The number 21 of Trent Hansen. This is race number 7, your feature, your main event, Pro-Am class. So a pretty wide field going on. So we're going to have two grid levels going on. It looks like. I don't know if they're all going to fit on that first row.
The interesting thing about this Pro-Am category is you have a wide range of ages competing here. You have 14-year-old Michael Mowry out there on the 71, and then you also have Trent Hansen, who is a little bit older. We've also seen Billy Smith and Rob Harkins on the 117. 62 years young out here competing against the 14-year-olds.
Woo!
Rob out of Abilene, Texas, and one of our great Xtreem flat track regulars.
And it looks like 18 is right out front again. This battle between 18 and 81 is just been nonstop rock and roll going on out there.
I think Rob told me that he took a 40-year break from flat track racing, just got back into it earlier this year, and has really got really excited about it and jumped in with us and followed us all the way from Texas to Sturgis, South Dakota.
It looks like the 18 is in one of Corbin Erickson, the 81 hot on his heels of Dane Barbie, the 111 of Connor Strand in 3.
Here they come one more time, the 18 and the 81.
And Michaela Nichols a little further down pack on that number 2 bike. But the real battle here, folks, is going on up at the very, very front at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Oh, here we go. Watch this.
Third is Connor Strand on the 111. Hot on his tail, though, was Trent Hansen on the 21 bike.
Dane Barbie tried to make a move coming out of turn number 2, and that bike started to wiggle just a little bit. He was right up beside Erickson, but couldn't get it done. Had to let off the throttle to let the bike settle down and straighten out. And here he comes again. Barbie looking to the outside on turn number 2. Going to try to pull up beside him coming down the front stretch.
And it's white flag out. Last lap for those two gentlemen at the very, very front, 18 and 81, just going back and forth and back and forth. 111 of Connor Strand is in 3, and he's definitely spread the gap out between himself and bike in 4th place.
Barbie moves up alongside Erickson coming through turn number 3 and 4. It is going to be a drag race out of 4 down the front stretch. Checkered flag going to Corbin Erickson on the 18. Barbie about a wheel length. Another great race from those two guys, the 18 and the 81. Corbin Erickson, Dane Barbie, they have put on a show all week long, battling it out. It has been so fun to watch those two young men from the Sioux Falls area.
Then a little further down pack, it was Michaela Erickson and the 117 machine of Robert Harkins at the very back of the pack. But excellent racing going on again between that 18 and 81. That is going to be the bikes of Corbin Erickson in 18 and 81 of Dane Barbie, just duking it out there. An absolute drag race down this front stretch. I kind of thought Barbie was going to maybe have something in his pocket for him, but he didn't. He just couldn't quite pass.
Yeah, he got up beside him going through turns 3 and 4, but Erickson just had the better line and was able to hold on coming out of turn 4 and down the front stretch. Had the shorter way around, as it were, to the start and finish line.
And Erickson was in the front from the very get-go. He just led the entire race. and made it very difficult for Barbie to make the pass. Our next class is the 250cc class, race number 8. Dylan Daredevil Durrell on the 58, Jason Fawcett on the number 10, and Cadence Heron on the number 52. Cadence winning her heat for this race, so she was in the P1 position. Although it currently is Dylan Durrell in 1 right now, Cadence Heron in 2, Jason Fawcett in 3.
Well, these two have been battling in this class for the last several days.
Dylan Durrell in 1 on the 58. Cadence Heron still in 2, but very, very close. I'm just real curious if she's going to be able to make a pass out here. She has just been having a really excellent week out here. And Jason Fawcett several bike lengths behind in 3rd. She goes for the inside, but can't quite get there fast enough.
Now, the interesting thing is you can see Cadence both last night and tonight searching around to try to find a line and find a different path to try to get around Dylan. She really likes to search for the lines out there and find the right way to pick up some speed.
It is a good amount of strategy out here going on for sure on these half-mile tracks, because while you're watching these races and it seems to go really fast, as you're racing, this seems to take forever. Like you actually have time to sit and kind of think and look, and it's a bit of a chess match out here.
Wow, and here comes Cadence up the inside through turn number 3. They are now bar to bar coming through 4. Cadence Heron on the 52 and Dylan Durrell, and Cadence will get this one lapped.
Speaking of chess match, she made her move and snuck in on the inside over on that backstretch turn into 3 and 4, made a very clean pass, is now multiple bike lengths in front of Dylan Durrell. It is Candace Heron in 1. Cadence Heron in 1, and
trust me,
Dylan
I've been doing it all week.
In 2, Jason Fawcett in 3. Checkered flag is out. Cadence Heron takes the checkers with that excellent pass in the last lap. That was some incredible racing going on out there. 3rd place, Jason Fawcett on the number 10 machine. I just got so excited.
No, I understand.
I know. I was just so excited for it. It was just some really incredible racing. We just had been talking about strategy, and sure enough, boom, she snuck right in under and made her pass.
You can tell she really thinks about what she's doing, picking her lines, seeing where she can pick up speed, finding a way around, and she was able to get it done coming through turns 3 and 4. And just some great riding from Cadence Heron, and that really just has been very impressive this week. We'll move now into our Vintage Pro Twins. A lot of cool bikes right here. You'll have the Rick Reed on the number 59Y, Jim Otley on the 58Y, and Wild Billy Smith on the number 13. Otley on that 750 Shell Yamaha. Been very solid with this bike all week long.
Great start for Jim Otley. Excellent launch. Unfortunately, Rick Reed did not get such an excellent start, but I think it kind of sparked the fire in him, because now he's absolutely just slamming through turn 2 down the backstretch, just on a mission. I think he got a little frustrated by that kerfuffle on launch. Jim Otley in 1, Billy Reed in 2. Billy Smith in 2, Rick Reed in 3.
But it is very cool to see and hear these vintage twin motorcycles working their way around one of the fastest half miles in the country here at Black Hills Speedway in Rapid City, South Dakota.
And watch out, freight train coming through. This is going to be Jim Otley in 1, Billy Smith, the wild man, in And Rick Reed with those telltale orange leathers. Thank you, Rick Reed. My old eyeballs can see you back there in 3.
Billy Smith tried to make a move on Jim Otley, got a little to the side of the group, was picking up some power down the back stretch, but then eased off. I thought Reed was going to then sneak around him, but so far they stay in the same order of Jim Otley, Billy Smith, and Rick Reed.
Such close racing. I mean, they're literally inches off of each other. This is just such a killer race. I'm definitely biased because I love the vintage bikes, but all 3 of these gentlemen are just so talented and their bikes are so top notch. It just doesn't get any closer than that. It can't get any closer than that.
Billy Smith trying to find a way around Jim Otley, a pair of Yamahas.
And here we go. Billy Smith attempting the outside pass on Jim Otley. I don't know if Jim Otley's going to set for it or not. And Rick Reed just sitting back there waiting for one of them to make a mistake. I bet white flag out. It is currently last lap for Jim Otley in 1. And there we go. Rick Reed attempting to make an inside pass on turn 1. Does not quite successfully complete that pass. It will be Billy Smith still in 2. Rick Reed in 3. Jim Otley now leading by several bike lengths coming around this final turn. And the march down the front straight starts now. Jim Otley in 1. Checkers. Billy Smith in 2. Rick Reed in 3rd place. Some excellent racing out there, race fans.
Jim Otley told me earlier this week that, he's taken this bike to Sacramento and it's been on the mile. And he said this is the fastest vintage twin in the country. And I think he's proving it here tonight.
I would definitely believe that. The bike has so much provenance. It has so much history to it. Just like actually all of Jim's bikes. Just a really, really fascinating collection of machines that he absolutely insists on and believes in racing versus storing and putting on display in a museum somewhere.
What was that word you used? Provenance?
You like that?
I do like that. I mean, I consider myself somewhat of a wordsmith most of the time. And
you
pulled that one out of your back pocket. I'm impressed.
I couldn't let you get away with that Brittenham, Sam I Am line that you had earlier.
Pro singles coming to the starting line, and this one is going to be a barn burner. They're cooking with Crisco, as they say.
They're absolutely cooking with gas for this race. This is going to be race number 10. This is a very big class. This is our pro singles class. And here is who is on the grid. The number 98 bike of Sean Nesshofer. The number 58 of Davey Durrell. 75F of the very, very fast Terrence Santero. The number 15 of Justin Anselmi. The number 21 of Jacob Cassio. The number 67 of Brian Layfeld. The number 96 of our current point leader, Jesse Janish. Number 33 of Dawson Schieffer, unfortunately, will not be on the grid. Number 43 of Cody Kopp. The number 17G of Joe Sam I Am Brittenham on the 17G machine rounds out this grid. This is your main feature event for pro singles.
Here comes Terrence Santero rolling up on that Kawasaki with a big block blower motor in it, apparently. Uh-oh. Somebody's having trouble. Davey Durrell, it looks like, whoa. Everybody's waving off now. Something's going on down here on the starting line.
So I think there's going to be a little bit of shuffling or bumping and grinding going on down there with positioning. There was a lot of hands shaking around, a lot of not ready looking. But now they're getting ready, and our flagman is headed to the circle. And away they go. Jesse Janish has really nice position on that outside and absolutely snags the whole shot. Is now at least one bike length ahead of the rest of the pack as they slam down the back straight.
Is that Cody Kopp that is slowing down on the back stretch? And we're going to see what's going to go on here. I don't know. Well, the green flag is out.
Yeah, somebody's having some trouble at the very end of the pack. That looks like Sam Santero in 2, and he's showing Jesse a wheel. Oh, and attempts the inside dive, attempts to pass, and succeeds. Santero 1, Janish 2.
I'm still trying to figure out. I think that was Cody Kopp that pulled off the track with bike problems, unfortunately.
And everyone's getting a little bit settled back in off of turn 4. It still is, ooh, and a good wiggle, a good shake coming out of 4. It's going to be Santero 1, Janish 2. If I was betting, I'd say David Durrell in 3, but they're still on the back side of this track, and it is very far and very dark over there, so I can't quite see him. But yeah. I promise you, it is the very quick Terrence Santero in 1. Yep, David Durrell in 3, Janish in 2.
I think that's Sean Nesshofer on the number 98 running in 4th right now. But those top 3, Santero, Janish, and Davey Durrell.
It did look like Nesshofer in 4 on the 98 bike.
Here comes Davey Durrell trying to make a move on Jesse Janish, coming out of turn number 2 down the back stretch. Can't get it done. The Cowie out front as they come through turns 3 and 4. Husqvarna of Jesse Janish. And then it's Davey Durrell. Durrell once again slides up beside Jesse Janish in turn 3, but they line out coming down out of turn 4. Durrell gets around Janish this time, coming into turn number 3, and will take the position, but I don't think Jesse's going to put up with that. We'll see if he can catch back up and get around Davey Durrell. Santero now starting to pull out a little bit of a lead as Durrell and Janish battle, opening up the gap.
And very wide rest of the field. Plenty of bike lengths between everybody out here, except for our last 2 racers at the very back of the pack. They are having their very own battle back here.
Davey Durrell now starting to catch the Kawasaki of Terrence Santero. Putting a couple of bike links between he and Jesse Janish, but Durrell, the wily veteran, has his eyes on the youngster out front.
He's got his eye on the prize for sure. He's been very, very fast the past several days out here. Janish kind of looks like he's thinking about making an inside pass, but is maybe possibly content to just hanging tough in 3rd. He's so far ahead of the points. You know, maybe 3rd is okay. Maybe that's just a strategy. He's just gonna hang tough back there. And last lap, white flag is out. It is going to be Santero 1, Durrell 2, Janish 3. It looks like Nesshofer 4.
Santero with about a bike link between he and Davey Durrell coming down the front stretch. Durrell going to try to power up but can't do it. Terrence Santero, T-Money, taking the pro singles win, followed by the veteran Davey Durrell on the 58 and then Jesse Janish on the 96.
Some very exciting racing going on out there. Huge congratulations to Terrence Santero, just blazing on fire the past couple of days out here at this half mile. I don't know what he's feeding that Kawasaki, but I want to put some in my motorcycle for sure. Very quick, very fast.
What a fun race to watch. Those top three just really battling it out and putting on a show here for everybody at Black Hills Speedway.
So unfortunately, two of the folks that were towards the top picks for this race ended up DNFing. Dawson Schieffer was not in this race, and neither was Cody Kopp. So opened the door for kind of some exciting racing up near the front, possibly letting people scooch up a little bit more. Jacob Cassio in the middle of that pack, along with Joe Brittingham. And Brian Layfeld as well. Next race coming out here is going to be the 50 and over class. Welcome back to Jim Otley on the 58Y machine. Alan, not Peter Frampton, on the number 58 or 85, and then Mark Erickson on the 167. This is your 50 and over senior class, race 11. Green flag is out, and it is all smooth sailing for this class. Jim Otley in 1, the 167 machine of Mark Erickson in 2, the 85 bike of Alan Frampton in 3. Definitely some smooth sailing for these three gentlemen out here in this 50 and over senior class. Jim Otley, again, we keep mentioning his name. He's very, very fast and races in a lot of different classes. A very, very familiar face at racetracks all over coast to coast. He retired just last year, travels all across the country, hitting up all sorts of races from antique to classic to vintage. Does a little bit of everything and does it well. He is in 1 right now with Mark Erickson in 2 and Alan Frampton in 3. And white flag is out. This is going to be the last lap for the 50 and over senior class. Final lap, last lap. And again, real straightforward, real open and closed case for Mr. Jim Otley out there on the 58Y machine. Checkers are going to come out. And checkered flag goes to Jim Otley. How many races is that for him tonight? He's in almost every single class.
About 38.
Except for the 85cc class, I think. I think it's the only one he's not signed up in. Jim Otley in 1. Mark Erickson on the 167 machine in 2. And Alan Frampton just crossing the checkers himself on the 85 bike in 3.
And in case you're wondering, you'll see Jim Otley 2 more times tonight.
I think he likes us.
Yeah.
I think he likes racing. I think he likes motorcycles.
I think he's in really good shape because I'm good for about 1 class and about 5 laps. Jim's run about 85 laps, I think, just tonight.
I'm good for a trip down to the snack bar.
Right.
That's what I'm good for.
+30 category rolling out next. Should be a fun one. We'll have the number 58 of Camzy Durrell, part of that Racing Durrell family out of Colorado. And then it's Wild Bill Smith on the number 13. And Trent Hansen from Missoula, Montana on the number 21 Yamaha.
Camzy Durrell.
Three great racers here. This should be a fun one to watch. Billy Smith trying to keep the front end down.
wheelies out of Billy Smith coming right out of the gate. Can't keep the wheel down.
I don't call him Wild Bill for nothing.
I mean, it's true. It's completely wild. It's completely sideways. He's super fun to watch, an incredible racer, but also really interesting to talk to in the pit and paddock about technique and strategy and bike setup, just super knowledgeable. The Wild Man, Bill Smith is in 1, Trent Hansen on the 21 and 2, Camzy Durrell on the number 58 bike in 3. This is your 30 and over, slightly seasoned, slightly veteran class.
Right. Oh, Billy Smith getting some pressure now from Trent Hansen. The 21 pulled up alongside of the 13, and 13 gripped the throttle a little harder.
Trent Hansen, a couple of races tonight, earlier in this evening's program, was really showing a lot of power out here. I was a little bit surprised to see him step up tonight. I don't recall noticing that during last night's program, but again, a lot of folks treating this as a little bit of a test of tune last night, dialing in their setups and getting it absolutely perfect for tonight's final half-mile race. He's creeping up there on the Wild Man and is going to show him a wheel here in turn 4. I don't know if he's going to quite be able to get that bike turned fast enough, but he is. He's going to attempt to pass on the inside. Billy Smith, however, shut the door on him just a little bit and is back out in 1. Billy Smith in 1. Trent Hansen in 2. Camzy Durrell in 3.
Hansen going to try once again to make a move. He looks to the outside this time, coming out of 4, but loses a little ground to the 13 of Billy Smith.
And Camzy Durrell back there in 3. As she was just going down this front straight, I couldn't help but notice her bike sounded a little bit of popping and snapping going on. I don't know if it's missing a little bit of power or what's going on. She's usually very, very fast. But I think maybe these dudes just got the jump on her, pun intended, from that incredible start from Billy Smith. Got the jump on her a little bit and just about muscled her out here. Speaking of muscle, there is an arm wrestling match happening currently on turn 4, again, between the Wild Man, Billy Smith, in those Evel Knievel leathers, and Trent Hansen. Trent's attempting the inside pass. One more time, and his white flag out. This is last lap. Trent Hansen needs to make a move and make it stick if he's going to grab these checkers.
Bill Smith stretches out a couple of bike links as they go through turn number 3. Hansen not going to be able to get it done. Bill Smith takes a win on the number 13, followed by Trent Hansen on the 21. Some good racing there.
And we go just like that within a couple of races, from seniors to little mini racers. This is the 65cc class. This is race number 13. 65cc class. It is definitely past their bedtime. It is definitely past my bedtime. It is the 65cc class out here on tonight's grid. The number 77 machine of Rip Rage. The number 27 of Camlin Durrell. The number 46 of Sam Brittenham. Rip Ragel earlier tonight was having some sort of little mechanical trouble, or something was going on with his bike. I think he had to pull off a little bit earlier in the program.
Look at this. We have a guest flag person.
Well, he gets a great start, but unfortunately, one of our little mini kids did not get such a great start out there, unfortunately. But Rip Ragel got out there nice and clean, and they even had a stunt flag person out there. for the 65cc mini kid class. These are the very beginnings and some of our earliest racers out here in Xtreem flat track racing. Out front is the number 27 machine of Camlin Durrell, followed by Rick Rage on the 77 and Sam Brittenham on the 46. Got that unfortunate start, but it actually made up quite a bit of time out there. He and Rip Regal are now both on the backstretch at the same time, so he definitely is making up time real nicely. But the number 27 of Camlin Durrell is definitely out in front, loud and proud. He's ringing these little bikes' necks wide open. Tiny little 65cc displacement machines on this great big huge half mile. That is a lot of nerve out there. That is a lot of guts.
Absolutely. And these 65s will run better than you might expect. My son has a KX65, and I'll get on there every now and then. It's not made for anybody quite with my girth, but it can still I can still ring it out a little bit, and they'll scare you if you really grip the throttle.
And the checkers goes to Camlin Durrell on the 27. Where did Rip go? It looks like something's going on over in turn 1. Those people,
Yeah. I think Rip is over there, maybe pulled off.
I think he had mechanical again. Because I was absolutely expecting him to cross that start finish, and it did not happen. So I think he did have to pull off with a little bit of a mechanical, but he got a great start and put up a lot of effort, and has been putting forth a lot of effort the past several days out here. So please put your hands together, Rapid City race fans, for those little mini kids out there racing their hearts out for you, putting on a good show. Another great show is headed your way, though. Race 14 for tonight, the final night of the Ronnie Stratton Memorial Sturgis Championship Series. Your final race here in the open vintage class. This is race number 14. The number 59 bike of Rick Reed, the number 58 of Jim Otley, the number 85 of Keystone Cop, the number 57 of Clint Erickson, the number 5 of Rick Barthold's Ridiculous Racing. This is race 14, open vintage. 57. It's off the line the fastest, but it is Rick Reed out there with the whole shot.
Wow, look at this. 3 riders battling for the lead coming out of turn number 2.
Rick Reed still in 1. Got that great whole shot move here in this open vintage class with Jim Otley in 2. And it looks like Rick Barthold's in 3, but he's making a pass on Jim right now, coming out of turn 2. They're neck in neck, bar to bar. Jim Otley just squeezes past him a little bit heading into turn 3. It is Rick Reed in 1, Jim Otley in 2.
Yeah, Rick Bartholds is 3rd, followed by Keystone Cop, and I heard a little popping and banging, and it looks like Clint Erickson is slowing down back there. He was right up in the mix when they started, but now at the back of the pack and slowing.
It's the excitement of vintage bike racing. You never know if it's going to make it. Rick Reed in 1, Jim Otley in 2, Rick Bartholds 3. Keystone Cup 4, Clint Erickson 5. Always super cool to watch these vintage bikes come out here. It is definitely one of my favorite races of the night. Just hearing these unique machines hearing them roar, hearing their power, just so exciting to watch. Rick Reed has had an absolutely fantastic couple of days here. He is still out front by several bike lengths. But I would not count Rick Barkholz or Jim Otley out at all. This might be just a little bit of strategy going on because it does look like a freight train, but there's barely a bike length between them now. Coming down the back stretch, it is still Rick Reed 1, Jim Otley taking the high line on the back stretch and kind of slingshotting his way into turns 3 and 4. And Rick Barkholz cannot get past, cannot get around him.
Well, you've got to credit Rick Barkholz. He's on a single. Reed and Otley both on twins, but Rick Barkholz is right up there in the mix.
And Jim Otley's making the pass on turn 4 on the inside. Oh, and it's just back and forth in such close racing. Checkers out for Jim Otley in 1, Rick Reed 2.
Wow. You can feel the pain of Rick Reed. Led the entire race until the final 2 turns when Jim Otley came around him and was able to take the checkered flag.
It's ridiculous racing in 3, Keystone Cop in 4, and Clint Erickson in 5.
Let's get back into some of our amateur racing. This should be a good one. Once again, keep your eyes on the 18 and the 81. We're going to have the number 2 of Michaela Nichols, the number 18 of Corbin Erickson, the number 13 of Billy Smith, the 71 of Michael Mallory, the 81 of Dane Barbie. There's that 111 of Connor Strand, and the 21M of Jacob Cassio. Open Am, 450M all together.
And Billy Smith gets right out front, gets the whole shot. I don't know if he's able to hold on to it, though.
He dropped back to 3rd as they went through turn 1 and 2. And I think, once again, it's the 18 and the 81, or maybe the 81 and the 18. Yep, it's Dane Barbie with the lead this time around with the 81. And, of course, Corbin Erickson, the 18, right on his back fender.
And it is just 18 and 81 all day long out here, back and forth. Barbie versus Erickson. Currently, it is Barbie, the 81 bike, that is in the lead. Erickson high on his tail, the 13 bike. Billy Smith in 3rd. Billy always seems to be having that great start. He just gets so much power right out of the gate. But I think he's just honestly out-muscled by this 81 and 18 machine.
Well, and Billy Smith running 3rd, but he's out there in the middle of several youngsters. He's got a few years on most of these riders in this class.
He's seasoned. He's just seasoned, that's all. It looks like Cassio is in 4. I also was really on the lookout for this race to be also looking for Strand, the 111 bike. Also having a great night out here.
Well, in the open amateur class a little earlier, it was the 18 leading the 81 for most of the race. This time the 81 is in the lead with the 18 right behind. We'll see how long they can keep this up, and if Dane Barbie can hold on and take the win here, but Corbin Erickson taking a look up the inside. Here comes Erickson, powering through turn number 2. They are bar to bar down the back stretch. Erickson with the inside line. Can Dane Barbie power around him and get back in front? The answer to that question is yes on this lap.
It is still Barbie in 1, Erickson in 2. Smith ends up getting past. Billy Smith now is down in 4.
White flag for Dane Barbie and Corbin Erickson.
And it's last lap for these exciting racers out here that have just been banging bars all week long. In the heat races, it was Barbie all the way. And it's going to be Barbie all the way again. 81 in first, 18 in second. That's Erickson in second place. They're back there high-fiving each other back there on the turn 2. And matching wheelies.
Yeah.
Matching bro wheelies going on. So everybody had a good time. Super exciting racing. Super close racing between these guys. A lot of trust, a lot of confidence. A lot of just knowing each other for years and racing together. So that's really cool and really, really fun to see. Some excellent racing from that last race. That was race number 15. That was our Open AM combined 450 AM class. And our final main event for this evening, the final race, final main event of an excellent series, 7 races in 9 days here at the Ronnie Stratton Memorial Sturgis Championship Series. This is your hooligan class. Number 58 of Jim Otley, the number 503 of Tyler Sargent, the number 31 of Jacob Crawford, the number 71 of Josh Young, 27 of Terry Vestal, the number 88 of Jason Nuss, 21 of Pedro Brown, and away they go.
And look who jumps out to the lead.
TV Dinner, no big surprises there. He's been serving it up spicy hot for the past couple of days.
He's like a Salisbury steak. A hungry man.
He's tougher than a $2 steak. That is TV Dinner. Terry Vestal in 1.
You're probably too young to have actually had a TV dinner in the little Salisbury.
I definitely am, but I've seen it
Salisbury
on
steak
YouTube.
in the little aluminum tin.
71 of Josh Young making the pass is now in second place. I saw it on TikTok, so that's the only reason why I know what you're talking about
What's
right
TikTok?
now. Those delicious Tic Tacs?
Yeah.
All right, Terry Vestal in 1, Josh Young 2, and Jim Otley a little bit further down pack tonight.
A lot of Harley muscle out there, and the one triumph of Jim Otley just trying to hold on. Although he's been pretty fast this week at different times. You got to think he's getting tired by this point. I mean, he's done 7 races in a row. He's doing multiple classes every night.
This is true.
I'm ready for a nap, and I'm just announcing.
The number 88 of Jason Nuss is in 3. So right now it is Terry Vestal 1, Josh Young 2, Jason Nuss on the 88 bike in 3.
Halfway flags for Terry Vestal on the 27 Harley.
21 of Pedro Brown in 4, Jim Otley in 5. And I see a bike being moved around over by 1. I don't know what that is. Somebody had to come off track. But it still is going to be TV Dinner 1, Josh Young 2. The breeze is kicking up out there a little bit. It's been absolutely spectacular weather the past several days of racing. Green flag is still out for TV Dinner, loud and proud, right out front. Josh Young in 2. It sure looked like the number 88 of Jason Nuss in 3
believe so.
And Pedro Brown on the 21 in 4.
White flag for Terry Vestal. Oh, and we've got a battle for second. It's Jason Nuss coming up to the side of Josh Young.
Last lap, it gets real interesting out here in this hooligan class. Just a real battle going down. Checkers though for TV dinner. And Josh Young in 2, 88 of Jason Nuss in 3.
What a week for TV dinner. Terry Vestal on the number 27 Harley Davidson.
Woo!
He has been impressive all week long. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to invite you to come on down to the pit area if you'd like to meet your favorite racer, get autographs. We also have Xtreem flat track merchandise available at the pit shack, if you will. And we're going to be doing some special presentations for our points champions and tonight's winners, and you can see them receive their number 1 plates and the specialty trophies built by Gary Kinsler at Light Shoe. But if you are headed home, we thank you, everyone, for coming out to Black Hills Speedway. We thank all of you, especially all of you racers that have been with us all week long here with Xtreem Flat Track, the Ronnie Stratton Memorial Sturgis Rally Championship. It's been just an amazing week here in Sturgis, Rapid City, South Dakota. And we appreciate everybody's commitment to racing. 7 races in 9 days. Those of you that have joined us online throughout the week, we appreciate your viewership. It's been an absolute blast, Jackie.
It has been such a great couple of days. I've loved being here. I love this track. It's been awesome following along on all of the Xtreem Flat Track social media, all of your races and everything that's been going on in your interviews. You've just done a great job. Huge thanks to all of the team here on the ground, all of the corner workers, all of the flag people, all of timing, all of our EMS, the folks here at the Black Hills Speedway, one of my favorite tracks in this area. I absolutely love it. Super fast, great track. Thank you so much for coming on out, everybody. Thank you so much, Mr. Jason, for inviting me, having me share your cockpit, as it were, up here with you, up in the box. This is Jackie Van Ham, your girl in the know, signing off. Have a great night, everybody.
And I'm Jason Baffrey, the man with the microphone. I'll come up with something better, but that sounds good for now. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be careful going home. Have a safe trip if you're from out of town and you're headed back home. And have a long drive ahead of you. Be safe out there. Watch out for motorcycles. There's a lot of them that are going to be on the highways and byways at the end of this 80th Sturgis Rally. Thank you and good night.
Bam. TV dinner. Wow. Making it look easy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Super fun.